Oh,
Pretty
awesome.
well deserved. Very nice.
Very dope. Okay, welcome back, Aurora Concordant. Let's get it on. You guys have been in Lyrengorn. You've been in Lyrengorn for a little while on your vacation from Amon, where you have picked up a sort of straggler from a nearby carnival, a bard by the name of Nyx, who seems to be fitting right in, who you actually had released from their employment at the carnival after the big performance tomorrow. And yeah, you've been wandering around. But more importantly, some trouble seems to be afoot here in Lyrengorn. It seems that... Oh, where are you? Yes, you were all approached by one Naelis Ildereth, an elven worshipper of the Moonweaver who always wears this ornate silvery mask, and attempted to enlist your party. Seemingly your name has made it down to Singorn. I wonder who was responsible for that. And thus he has decided to attempt to enlist your aid. He went down to a place called Shadow's Respite, which is a small village of drow refugees from the Underdark. It seems that about a month ago, a new wave of drow came washing in, fleeing from the same thing that happened about 50 years ago that coincidentally happened to Yvain's mother, who we have yet to meet, but maybe one day. You talked to the leader of Shadow's Respite, Vilra Nightshade, whose handout is now up in Roll20, and High Priestess Belindra Moonshadow of the Temple of Shadow, who's also got a handout now. Both of them spoke Moonshadow of prophetic omens, telling of a dark plot to occur during the Moonweaver ceremony, that she was not being taken seriously, seemingly by anybody. Naelis Ildereth seems to take it very seriously and will be looking into it. And yeah, so that was cool. Meanwhile, other people are here and there and talking with people around Lyrengorn, enjoying their time there. And here on the first of Discar, Yvain decided it was time to take some of that azurite and use it. She went and smoked it in the Temple of the Moon, dropped a humongous bag of gold to distract everybody, lit up, smoked some azurite, had a super big trip, and saw some kind of visage of the Moonweaver who told her that the fate of Exandria were in her hands, that there was something in the Underdark the Moonweaver bid her retrieve, and then seemed to encounter a many-eyed monster who once again asked she would lend her eyes. And that is where we will pick up this session. Yvain, you wake up sort of like feeling like very thirsty, kind of hungry, your mouth's very dry. Wake up in all these pillows. The incense is long since gone out. It's probably been at least an hour or two as you're just like laying here in this alcove in the Temple of the Moon. Your body feels weird, like your joints feel a little stiff. You expect from your recent spiritual endeavors, shall we say. Is there anything, as you rise, is there anything you'd like to do?
Absolutely. So she did cast divination and all that. It was a component in the spell. She didn't just get by.
Yes, using it for having heard that it was used for sort of divination-like experiences in ancient civilizations.
I would like to take my quill and parchment out of paper, actually, in a journal, and absolutely savor the moment. I mean, take some sips of water if I need to, but I think she wants to enjoy sort of a bliss, and at the risk of sounding morbid, I know what it's like to think that I'm never going to see something again, and maybe this is the only time she ever hears the voice of a goddess, and so to the best of her ability, she journals the words that she said as perfectly as she can. The tilt of her head, what was she wearing, the way she held the moon in the most precise terms, because this is a holy thing for her.
Absolutely. So in this moment of a sort of what becomes a sort of a groggy wake up, and very, very quickly transforms into a moment of sort of divine ecstasy, as you begin to write furiously. Maybe a performance check to see how well you articulate your vision.
Okay. It's a 19 on the dice. And I believe I have a +1 now. I do for performance. Yeah. So it's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. I'm going to put a little picture in Tal'Dorei Facebook chat to show you just what the Moonweaver looked like in your vision. And you do indeed would bring about this sort of image to many people if they were to read your words. And you write an excellent script, and who knows, maybe in some 100 years, people will be, maybe 200-300 years, people will be looking upon this very page that you have wrote, Yvain, and hoping to learn more of the Moonweaver, as divine experiences such as this are not things that go without their, appreciation in the world at large.
May I make, I think, an insight check, but you might decide it's something else.
Okay, yeah, what would you like to do?
The High Priestess, she spoke of the slaughter for no reason, no political reason, just people turning on each other.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, when I saw the sightless in the vision, there was just a split second when I thought of drawing the moon bow and destroying it right there. But then I remembered, but really, I'm in a room and this isn't real. But like, it messed with my mind with what I was hearing and made me think that people were in the writing on my scripts. Could that be what happened? Could he have tricked all of them into thinking different things? And so it's not so much that they were slaughtering each other, but that they were in a different reality. Could he have done that the way he sort of did it to me?
I don't think there's really a role for it. You have firsthand experienced his power as he used you, much like you might use an art like a wand. Very much turned you into a foci for very, very large amounts of power. I don't think there's really an insight check here. I think very easily, Yvain, that you might be able to determine that that's a possibility. They spoke of a many-eyed creature in the dark. There are multiple entities that are described as such, but the sightless one is described that way as well, as you well know.
And I know what my goddess showed me. So I will clean up as beautifully as I can. Briefly look for Naelis. If he's easily around, great, but if not, I would like to return to Shadow's Respite, because while the right hand of the Moonweaver should hear this first, it's their prophecy. Like the drone lost so much, they should have this one thing. It's theirs first.
This isn't here. So no, you don't see Naelis. You don't see Naelis and Ildoreth here in this temple. There's a number of priests and priestesses here in the Temple of the Moon, but none that would be considered like, and there's a high cleric, the person who runs the place. Not here either, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say. The dice seem to have dictated they are out and about on this day before the Moonweaver's ribbons.
It was only Naylist that I would have been looking for. So
Yeah.
from this point, I would go to Shadow's Respite.
Okay. You head down the Shadow Respite. I'm going to tune back to the rest of the party, and we will return to you, Yvain, in due time. But as you all rise today, I believe some of you have heard about this thing going on with Naela Silvereth and the Moonweaver and some kind of plot. I believe that was spoken of at dinner last night. But you guys do know that the Moonweaver ceremony is tomorrow. What would you all like to do with your day? Is there any last things you'd like to do before the ceremony begins tomorrow?
Do we know what part of town this ceremony is going to be held in? Like, I know a lot of it's going to be aerial with the wyverns, of course, but is there like a central gathering point, like a town square or like a main courtyard or anything like that it'll be that people will be gathering at to watch?
Yeah, make me an insight or investigation check, your choice.
Yeah, I will go ahead and roll investigation on that. It's going to be a 15.
15. The Moonweaver's ribbons are extensive, is what you're beginning to understand. Like you're like, yeah, like where is it? Where's the most potent? From what you're told, it is, and to be clear, the city is bustling. Like people are walking down wide causeways, shoulder to shoulders, to the point where you see that like some of the hunters from upper the mountain have sort of been brought in to enhance the guard, and some visitors are being told like, no, you can't come in. The city's full, bursting. But they recommend like various mountain peaks to go like camp on and such, and many people here are gathering supplies for such a sojourn to go to like a nearby peak and camp out for the day tomorrow. You get the sense that the Moonweaver's ribbons are going to be like a spectacle that can be seen for miles. So different districts have their different squares, and probably all will be packed. But if you're looking for places of like immense like importance, you're told that let me just get up the you are told, yeah, so the temple, the luminary district is going to be full probably as the most immediate place to see things. But more importantly, there's a district here called the Sky Swimmers Area, which is a large district in the city dedicated to the Sky Swimmers. There is a place called the Airy Lookout, which is a high vantage point. It's about halfway up one of the peaks. And you're told that the Crescent Conclave, who are it's like the council government here, that is where they usually like observe the Moonweaver ribbons from.
And is
that's
the area
best seats in the house?
And is the area lookout is it public accessible? Or is it purely like a okay?
Yeah, it's not public accessible. It's not like it's not like the Vatican, where like the Pope walks out onto the balcony and waves at everybody. It's not like it's kind of like that actually. Now that I take it back, it's a little like that, where like they kind of view it from sort of upside the mountain. They can kind of like wave to everybody down below. Maybe there might be a speech or something, but yeah.
Interesting, because
no,
I think because Glint's internal process here is like, if I was trying to disrupt the ceremony, where would I want to target to make it as public as possible, right?
Right.
And his thought would be
religion.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Because this is a religious ceremony, and there's like a practice that goes on.
Only a 13 on that one.
Only a 13. You expect that you've been told the Moonweaver's ribbon ceremony is just that. It's a ceremony. You heard, because I believe you went down to the Dark Elves. There is a large idea from the new refugees that the Moonweaver's ribbons are going to sort of cleanse the surrounding miles around Lyre and Gore. It's going to be a great burst of divine energy that will purify the land. So this very much is a religious ceremony, which leads you to believe that the High Priestess of the Temple of the Moon here, she's probably going to be on the moon. She might be at the temple. She might go to various squares. She might be at the area. Chances are she's going to be traveling.
Okay, and
yeah.
And the High
So she's
Priestess
going-
is the dark elf that we met, or is it a separate person?
No, that's a separate person, and you would have got that as well with your investigation. Her name is. It is a High Priestess Alara Moonshadow.
Alara Moonshadow, is that correct?
That's right. Elara Moonshadow. And they're the High Priestess and spiritual leader of Lyrenborn and sit on the Crescent Conclave. And they are probably going to be the focal points of this religious ceremony to make sure everything goes off without a hitch. There'll probably be multiple priests involved, but she's certainly going to be the one at the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And we haven't like spoken to them at all. I imagine like sending anything to her directly would be one, very difficult, and two, really weird if we just kind of did that.
You haven't seen her. You don't know much about her either. You can go try and track her down. I believe you were told that Nahlis was going to talk to the Crescent Conclave and try and like relay to them the importance of this potential plot.
Yeah, I think at the very least, Glint would probably want to check in with Nahlis on that front and just sort of see like what the plan is on that front. If the Concord is wanted to like accompany the High Priestess, or if we were just supposed to be, attending as regular goers, or if Nahlis feels it is enough of a concern for us to try and actually kind of play additional security in that respect.
Okay. Make me another investigation or insight check to see if you can track down Nahlis today.
Yeah. Because I think that's definitely going to be what Glint's fixating on for the day leading up. Oh, that's better. That's a 22. Very
good. Yeah, they said they were going to, they're they. They told you that they were going to go talk to the Crescent Conclave, so you go to the Crescent Conclave Hall, the seat of government. And you go over there, and you don't kind of go in, maybe kind of loiter around, see if they come out. And a little past midday, indeed, you are going to see that Nahlis comes out rather casually. Not like aloofly, but just sort of like maybe it's like they're taking a recess or a lunch or something like that, and Nahlis exits and sees you and sort of bows the head respectfully and approaches.
Mix Nahlis, do you have a moment of time I could hope to intrude on?
Of course. What seems to be the issue there?
Well, I simply wanted to check in, and given the topics we covered the last a day or two, I was hoping to see if you wanted us to provide more on hands-on assistance with security and things of that nature. I was, checking out the city and taking in the sights and considering where things might be held, given the big day is tomorrow. And I just wanted to see what the current stance is on potential measures for High Priestess Alara.
The Crescent Conclave is stubborn. They believe their neutrality protects them, and that the Moonweaver will protect them where that fails. I'm impressing upon them the importance of security and of the potential plots, and they're coming around to the idea. I have some pull for being what I am, and I very much would appreciate your assistance in the matter. You're all adventurers, and I think the best way served is for you to attend the ceremony around the city and keep your eyes open, and any actual security that will be assigned to the High Priestess, it seems to be a number of paladins, and they will watch over her as she travels here and there. But I will update you tonight when the talks have come to an end, but I think they will be going mostly in our direction.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm sure that you are infinitely more familiar with all the proceedings and who to speak with than I could dream to be over a day or two of study. So I do, of course, trust your direction and your recommendation. Um, and I'm happy to bring it along to the rest of the Accord as needed. Um, are you doing all right? I hope that this isn't particularly too stressful for you as of yet, given this might still all pan out to be, um, more smoke and mirrors than an actual knife to worry over.
They consider, and they say, how I am feeling, however stressed as you say it may be, it matters not. If I am to serve the Moonweaver and be her will on earth, these things cannot matter. And I push past them for her will. But I appreciate your concern. This is nothing I have not. I've dealt with much in my time, and I will be very helpful, very glad for your help.
If so, I'm sure that you have. It's quite impressive. I'm sure it's been an eventful stretch of decades. I'm sure for everyone that's been around long enough to remember them. Of course, you know where we're staying. Do send word if you need us earlier, and just keep us in the loop. I'd appreciate it.
I will perhaps meet with you and your companions tonight and debrief or brief you all on what the plan is for tomorrow. I have no doubt I will need your help.
Wonderful. And if you would like any wards placed anywhere or things of that nature, do let me know.
I see. The offer is most generous. I will relay it.
Wonderful. I'll get out of your hair. I'm sure that you're probably grabbing lunch or something of that nature in between meetings or ceremonies or whatever the clergy do in places this large. You have a good rest of the day, I hope.
And you as well, Glint.
And Glint will scuttle off like the strange cryptid that he occasionally is.
Okay. And Naelis will return to the interior of the Crescent Conclave. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so what about anybody else? Anybody else have anything they want to do around Byron Gold before tomorrow?
Actually, I'm gonna just spend the day working on a map of Silar.
Oh, okay, sure thing. Yeah, make me a cartographer's check, please.
What? With proficiency?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That'll be a 24,
Nice.
boss.
Quite fitting for your feature. It's one thing to have seen it in your mind's eye, it's another to apply it to paper. But you do not have any issue with doing this, and you get to apply it to the best of your ability. You know that it's only going to be a representation of what you saw, and you had certain magics to help you along, but certainly it will be of aid when it's passed along. And if you spend the day doing this, I'll say that you at least get a rough copy done, enough so that the basics are understood, and you can fill in the details later on if you wish.
Fantastic.
Cool. Okay, is there anybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll first in the morning, I would like to visit the artisan district and visit the glass blowing facility.
Ah, gotcha. Alrighty, let's take a little look. Give me a moment. I'll go take a look. Sorry, I'm just Going through all my lore. Find out this information. No, you. Artisans District. Okay, yes, you make your way to the Artisans District, the creative heart of Ironborn, if you will, and there's much to see here. Let's see. Local artists. Yeah, and you see like art galleries and an instrument shop and a tailor and a blacksmith, and eventually you're going to come to the shop. All right, you look around and you're struggling to kind of find it, getting a little annoyed, but then to your pleasure, you're going to find a place called the Luminescent Forge, sort of tucked away a little, for whatever reason, just not on the main street, but you do find this Luminescent Forge.
Okay.
You find the Luminescent Forge has a great glass facade in the front of the shop, made of large colored glass panels that catch the light, and it has vibrant patterns on the ground using the art of glass blowing to create sort of a prism of colors, which is very interesting use of the craft. The panels are also decorated with intricate etchings of natural scenes of elven motifs. And the sign is beautifully crafted and hangs above the entrance with wrought iron, and in Elvish it says the Luminescent Forge, which is how you know what it's called. It glows, we don't need to worry about that as it is the daytime, and you can step in if you wish.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and should you do so, you will enter into a world of shimmering light and color. A thoughtfully designed showcase of glassworks and that provide an immense experience. The main showroom has display shelves showing tall, elegant, the shelves themselves are tall and elegant of dark wood, lined with glass items, vases, sculptures, ornaments, and much, much more. There is a beautiful centerpiece, which is large glassworks, such as chandeliers, decorative panels, intricate statues made of glass. One-of-a-kind demonstrations are the pinnacle of this artistry here, as you see sort of a master in the middle of the shop is actually working on glass blowing actively in the middle of the shop. And the ambient light draws a soft, warm, multicolored, prismatic coloration on the interior, orbs of floating light near the ceiling. It is wondrous in here, and you see many short workshops for people to come in and check things out. And as you're looking around, kind of maybe slightly bewildered by what you see, you will be approached by a very beautiful elven woman who is wearing sort of long, flowy gown, which at first is like, you're not a glass blower, you're like in a dress, like in long sleeves, in which you notice that she does have these almost straps under her arms, where her sleeves are sort of fastened into the straps to kind of like leave her arms accessible, and then can be released to kind of give her that sort of elegant high elven apparel. And she approaches you, and she will bow her head low and welcome you. And she'll say, "My name is Leora Glassweaver. It is a great pleasure to meet you. I don't believe we have met."
Oh no, it's nice to meet you as well. Sure, we haven't met. I'm relatively new to town. I've been practicing a little with some glass blowing, and I thought I'd come and see how the masters do it. Maybe I could pick something up.
She is delighted to hear. She's delighted to hear you say that, and she will sort of beckon you to show you around. She takes you to some of the more special sections where you would see people sort of putting in custom orders and working with various artists to design pieces. You see beautiful glass jewelry strung about in showcases, necklaces, earrings, rings, and also an art gallery that displays local and visiting artists' works in exhibition. She says, "Well, I'm very glad that you have come. I did not I did not know the art of glass blowing was picking up in larger parts of the world.
Oh, I can assure you that it's not. It's been quite the trial to learn. As a matter of fact, all of this is well beyond me, even these most basic pieces. I'm still at the very beginning stages, I believe.
Well, there is certainly nothing wrong with it. If you wish, we do have many services here, one of which is glass blowing classes. We would be more than happy to show you some of Lyrangorn's unique glass blowing techniques.
He kind of gives her a look, and his eyes narrow just a little when he says, "Do you teach one of these classes?"
She will smile and she will say, in fact, I do. I will be teaching one in about an hour if you wish to join.
Oh, I would love to. What can I do to attend?
Do you have your own glass blowing set?
Oh, no. That stupid old man has them.
She sort of chuckles and says, I see. Well, that is of no issue. We are more than happy to provide either rental equipment or you can purchase your own set.
Oh, you
That is
know
the
what?
first. Yes?
That's a good idea. I was thinking of renting, but now that I'm here, I probably won't make it back to such a place anytime soon. Maybe I will purchase a set. Can you suggest one?
Most certainly. And she will say, well, we have kilns here, which you may use to complete your craft. But as for the actual set, I'm looking for the price of it right now, and I can't find it by the glass blower artist and draws. There we go. She'll take you to a number of different sets, and there's some really nice one, but the most basic set is like 30 gold pieces. And she says, there's a rather basic one here. If you want something a little bit more ornate, something a little bit more design, you can spend a little extra gold and get a nicer set if you wish.
Well, maybe you can help me out on this. I'm looking to make some more practical pieces, vials and whatnot. And he lifts his hands to her and he's like, and I have these big hobgoblin hands, not the fine, delicate elven type.
Everyone learns how to use their own hands, and she sort of brings her hand next to yours and kind of like displaying yeah, she does. She has very dainty, elegant, not weirdly long fingers, but certainly long enough that there's a dexterous coordination there. Very different than your sort of warlike paws almost. And she says, well, we'll be more than happy to instruct you. Well, why don't we get you a basic set if you wish to purchase 30 gold pieces. Even a basic set will show the signs that it came from Lyrangorn. And she will provide you 30 gold pieces. And she says, by learning the artistry of glass blowing, you may learn how to use it practically as well. There are many applications for glass blowing, as you can see, and she will gesture to some of these crazy sculptures that she has next to windows that when the light hits it refracts into an array of beautiful colors around the shop that aren't it's not like a disco ball where you're fuck. It's very intentional. She says there's many uses for glass blowing, and if you'd like to attend a class, you might pick up much.
Oh yeah, I would love to. You said you're teaching one in about an hour?
That's right. It runs for a couple of hours. There's a lunch break in the middle, but it's about 4-hour class, not including the lunch.
Well, all right. I think I've probably got a little time to spare. Do I sign up?
Certainly. Well, since you have your own glass blowing equipment, it's going to cost 4 gold pieces for the class.
All right. Sounds good. Can I give that to you now?
Yes, of course.
All
She'll
right.
accept that from you and say, yes, feel free to look around the shop or come back in an hour and whatever you like. And we can skip over that if you want, unless there's anything you want to do around the glass blowing shop while you wait.
No, we can skip over it.
Okay, you just kind of hang around, look at some of the pieces, and See some like cool glass earrings and jewels and such. But soon enough, it'll be funny because there will be like these like young elven like teenagers and maybe some like 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 young elves, so less than 100 years old. Some of them are like teenagers, maybe students of various colleges. Maybe there's like an old grandma elf here or there who's just like delighted to be here with her like young like great great grandchild or something like that. And then there's just you with this like furry red hobgoblin
Right.
who sticks out very much like a sore thumb. And she will sort of get to the front and she'll say, "Well, welcome, and thank you everybody for coming. And so, well, let's begin." And she'll go through like the very bare basics, which is like these are the different tools, and that only lasts for about 5 minutes. And she says, "Well, let's get to something a little bit more advanced." And she says, "Today we're going to make a vial. So let's go to making a vial," and then she'll sort of work out with all of you about like I don't know the craft very well, obviously myself. I'm not that worldly, unfortunately. But about she says you take like the big ball of glass on the end and you heat it, and she tells you when to heat it and when it's too much and when it's too little, and how to like use the different pieces of equipment to sort of stretch it and bring it about and bring that sort of shape. And it's almost pottery-esque at a point. Why don't you make me a check? And it's to see how good a student you are. Once you make me you're not proficient, so make me a flat intelligence check to see how good a student you are.
Oh, this should be fantastic. All right. Oh, for once, he's paying rapt attention. I got an 18.
18, nothing to do with the fact that she's a pretty elf lady.
Right. No, a lot to do with that, actually.
18, that's really good. No, you pick up a lot, and you had said like a vial, and here she is teaching you how to make a vial, and you're starting to get it. You understand you need like a pretty intense heating element, and once the actual glass is blown, you need to like put it into a furnace or else it'll crack, and teach you through all the procedures. And you're like, wow, she's like a way better teacher than that old bastard that I had running around with me. And because you've attended this class, we're going to get it's basically be considered double time training. You'll get 1 day worth of training in from attending this class. So that's considered fantastic. 8 hours of training.
Okay.
Yeah, and after like 4, there's a little lunch, and maybe some of the people try and talk to you, and they're like, where are you from? And you're like, eh. And then you go back to glass blowing, and by the end, I'll say that like, I'll throw it in there too. We'll say that at the end of this, you're not perfect. You're not gonna get like a perfect every time, but you will get a vial. You now have the ability to glass blow. You're pretty sure you know how to glass blow a vial without too much issue.
All right, nice. All right, anybody want ugly glass vials when I start making?
Yeah, they definitely come out like ugly for sure. Like a little lopsided at the bottom.
Right, they're always just a little bent.
A little bit. That's right. They take a little while to make, but yeah, you can do it.
Devane's always got reasons to need vials for stuff between the monster guts and the herbalism. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Actually, since I'm here anyway, I should probably pick up some supplies so I can, blow glass on the road.
Absolutely. So they basically sell like I don't want to say marbles, but like bowls of glass, of like pre-made glass. And you can purchase as much as you want. Typically, crafting creation price is half of the price that is listed on the actual equipment. So vials worth 1 gold, which means materials are 5 silver. So you can just mark down as much gold as you want for materials that you've purchased.
All right, I'm gonna take about 20 balls, so about 10 gold.
20 balls, yeah, 10 gold, absolutely, for sure. They give them to you in like a special bag where it's like bubble wrapped and everything. They're like, don't bounce it around too much, or it'll crack. And that's the bag will keep it generally protected, and it's all good. Yeah, and you at the end, you'll be Leora will approach you, and she'll say, "Did you like the class? Did you find it helpful?"
Oh yeah, I found it extremely helpful. I don't want to bore you with the long and terribly boring details, but I've been involved with this older gentleman who was trying to show me, and it was, let's say it was not a good student-teacher relationship. It's not been fruitful.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope I was able to help maybe a little bit better than this gentleman, as you put it.
Absolutely. I'm re-inspired, and I intend to keep practicing.
Well, excellent. And we hold classes here. If you want to sign up for something a little more long-term, we can get you trained up in no time. But perhaps you're only here for the ceremony. That's well and good too. And I thank you for coming and seeing our shop.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time and for your help.
All right. You know, Baron Eve is around the corner if you wanted to purchase something for someone special. Just bring it out there.
Right. I will, yeah, let me think about that.
Okay. Well, I'll be around if you need anything. And she'll wander about, and I'll also say during the course of that 4 hours, you get the sense that Leora Glassweaver, she comes from a long line of glassblowers. Like her family's been practicing the art for, like, they expect since before the creation of Lyran. So she's considered like one of the great masters of glassblowing in the world.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
Which is probably why she trained you up so well.
Right.
All right then.
All right.
And then later in the day, if you want to do you want me to finish out my day, or you want to leave and come
Sure,
back?
yeah, you keep going.
And then after that, my intention was to kind of weave my way through, the more blue collary, upper lower class, middle of or areas of the city, just to kind of try and pick up on the local scuttlebutt, specifically related to any grumblings of dissent about the upcoming festivities ceremony, and also any feeling one way or another about the recent wave of drow coming into the city.
Okay, yeah, make me an insight check. So, recently with drow.
17.
17. You get the sense that Lyranborn, they stick by their neutrality, which is that they don't have any friends, but they don't have any enemies, and that's how they decided to live. They're very Switzerland around here. So similarly, these people have shown up on their doorstep and begged for aid, and kind of outside what they usually do. They're like, okay, we'll give you some food and make you some shelters, but stay over there. You don't expect it's like a racism thing necessarily, but it's just that they don't want they don't want friends. They don't want friends, and they don't want enemies, and they believe their neutrality protects them. And it has for a great long time. So that's kind of the move towards the drow. There's some xenophobia in there for sure. Drow don't have the best rep. So sure, there's some people who are like, we'd love it if there weren't drow on our doorstep, absolutely. But they have been offered sort of hospitality, more than minimum, certainly. But people are just kind of hoping they will go away, is generally the thought. Some of it's because of xenophobia. Some of it's just because they don't want to get involved in whatever shit they were dealing with.
Sure.
So what was the first part? What did you ask? I apologize.
Well, that and so I guess before we leave that particular topic, it didn't sound like it, but nothing specifically that stands out as extremist or threatening or anything like that.
No, in fact, that seems to be the mood of Lyran, is that they're very much not extremist. They very much state the only thing that they're really crazy about is the moon and art and magic and their culture. They love all that shit. Other than that, they're extremist is definitely not a word that you'd probably associate with Lyran, other than their deep faith for the moon. So they're and that's probably what their idea is of being neutrals. They don't want to encourage big passions for causes and drawing enemies in and being forced to help out allies. So they're very much discouraging that sort of behavior from doing that.
All right. Any so then the next thing was anybody that seems like abnormally opposed to, or generally salty about the ceremony itself.
Let's see. I think what did you roll again? Oh, actually, I want you to do no. Yeah. What would you roll? Sorry.
I rolled a 17.
17. You see a couple of things. At this point, the city's getting pretty packed with visitors. And a couple times here and there, you see a number of hunters, nothing violent, but a number of hunters like approach several individuals in the street for whatever reason. One of them is like a person who's like standing on a box and he's going like, what's he saying? He says, "Honor indeed the Moonweaver, but the Arcart is known well to be a great elven god. Singorn prays to the Arcart, and you should as well." Nothing bad, nothing like crazy. But they do come up to this guy and they go, "You need to leave. You need to leave by yourself. You're done." And he's like he kind of knew what he was in for a bit, but they seem to be very much shutting people down who do anything that relates to like taking a side in any way. Sure. Maybe one person's like a drow sympathizer and is like, "It is not right to like leave them on the streets," and then like the hunters were like, so like looking at when they're like, "Shh, it's not. Come on, like nothing that's like the government will get us and put us in camps." It's nothing like that crazy, but it's very much like, come on, that like calm down. So you see throughout the day a couple people get kicked out of Lyringborn for nothing extreme, just like trying to take a side somewhere or being a little too passionate about some kind of cause that they're into, and that's it. That's what you get, really. But nothing you would call extreme. Right.
No noticeable flavor of dissent or anything like that.
No, people are quite excited. In fact, it's very merry around here.
Okay, sounds good. That's going to be it for me for the day.
All right, that's Zarval. What about Ember's doing his map today? What about I'm about to come around to you, but I just want to check in with Nyx and Finch first, Yvain. About to come back to you. Is there anything for Finch or Nyx today?
I don't think so. I think Finch is just gonna continue to like enjoy like some solitude when it comes to like people watching and walking around the city, because of the fact that they've just come from Amon and like a lot of attention being on them. So I think that they're gonna focus on just like trying to enjoy the city and like kind of lay low.
Would you be into, you were told about this like district was like a lot of meditation, a lot of like private, like calm, whatever. Would you go there perhaps?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Yeah, you meander over there to the Seekers District, I believe it's called. The Seekers Sanctuary, that's it, my apologies. And yeah, you head around and you end up, I imagine you head up inside a place called the Moon Shadow Retreat, which is, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it sounds like you just want to enjoy your time, but it is a serene complex of like meditation classes, spiritual counseling, and if you're not into like actual guided anything, there's plenty of places that are like retreats for seeking like a deeper connection with the Moonweaver rather specifically. But other places have just like, like maybe you find yourself like taking a class and kind of like sitting amongst like a dozen other elves and individuals here, just a kind of like person in the crowd, and just kind of sit quietly and like hear the like the dong, like incenses, just kind of feel the peace. And maybe for you feel like you focus on Bahamut, or maybe not. Maybe just let yourself go nice and calm. Why don't you roll me? I want you to roll me a wisdom saving throw to see how much you're able to chill yourself out, like how much you're able to like still your monkey mind,
That's a 15 plus 3, so 18.
You were raised a part of the clergy, and prayer is a large part of that training. And through that prayer, you might have learned how to calm your mind. So here you meditate, and You spend some time here meditating, and it's actually calming and peaceful, and you're not like sitting down for like a minute, 60 seconds and being like, I gotta do this. No, you sit down and you meditate and you feel peace and a comfort here. And this is a place of the Moonweaver. So maybe you feel connection there, maybe you just feel connection with yourself, and it's a good time.
Yeah, and I
you'll
think,
gain, yeah.
I would say, I think too, they may like initially like going into this may have like the kind of like instinctual like thought to like focus on like Bahamut and all that. And then I think there would be something that would pull them like not away in like a disrespectful way, but like let me just listen to like my own mind, because I feel like they don't do that a lot, because a lot of what Finch does is driven by like their belief in Bahamut, and like whether it's like focusing on them or praying to them, or you know what I mean, like calling upon that, like it's a lot, it's very centrally focused, and then not like listening to their own, I mean like it is their own voice, but like not listening to their own voice versus like kind of drawing on the power of like another being, another entity. So I think this might be not the first time, but like probably the first time in a long time they would like really focus on themselves versus like praying to like another entity.
Okay, cool. You come here to meditate. Maybe there's one place where it's very like Moonweaver focused, where they're like, like the moon base. It's like that sort of almost like guided, like calming word, but you don't go there. You go to the place which is just quiet and sound. And you just kind of connect to yourself and hear your own voice inside of you. And maybe Finch learns a little bit about themselves and takes some time to consider their own philosophies unrelated to any sort of religious sort of doctrine. And you feel a little peace and maybe a little happiness just being sort of a person in the crowd, not some great paladin who needs to save everybody at this moment. You're just Finch. Just Finch.
Just Finch.
And you will gain inspiration for your meditations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, learn something about yourself, for sure. Incredible. And look, I'm just going to stop off with Nyx before I hit to Yvain. Nyx, is there anything that you would like to do around Myrangorn or back at the carnival or anything at all?
They're probably rehearsing at the carnival right now for the big show, you know.
Absolutely makes sense. You're probably rehearsing at the carnival with Northeast, South, and West, my very creatively named fairies. And yeah, you're doing a little work there, doing last shows, and just sort of getting ready for the big carnival. And you're probably going to be featured in the final big top event of the evening. You're going to be part of that big performance, and probably just wandering around and sort of like fiddling to people and kind of like keeping the morale high here. And it's going to be a great time. Fantastic. So, love to hear that. And you know what? I'll give you an inspiration as well, because you're practicing. You're practicing for your big show. So take inspiration. How that works is you may at any time decide to give yourself a reroll or like an extra roll, take the higher for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, whenever you want. If you're like, I didn't roll so good, but it's important to you, you can use your inspiration. You can also give it to a friend if you feel they need it in that moment. Incredible.
Okay. How do you keep track of that?
On your page, there's a little bubble there near the top, near your armor class, that says inspiration. And if you just click on that little box, a little sunshine will appear in there. That'll help you track.
Okay. Yay.
Cool. Fantastic. All right. At this point, yes, let us return to Yvain. Yvain, you make your way back down to Shadow's Respite, the small but as of late a little bit more packed drow community. What would you like to do? They're not outside, by the way. They're like
no,
inside or sleeping or trancing or whatever.
I am going to see if the High Priestess Moonshadow is available.
Okay. She at this time, yeah. She's sort of like, there's almost like a look to her like she's waking up a little bit. But she is like performing her duties as the High Priestess here. And she sort of notes you and says, Yvain Starborn, yes, good to see you again. What is it that I could do for you?
Is there somewhere we could talk? I just cast a divination, and I feel like you should know what I was told.
Uh, Very well, yes, right this way. And she'll take you once more into her sort of back room study slash bedroom. Says, what can I do for you?
So, in the briefest possible terms, like starting from the grotto in outside of Solar, where she reached out for the Moonweaver and first found the Sightless. Like
Okay.
starting from there in the briefest of versions, like 5 sentences or less, explain what happened under Solar. And then she's going to open her book and just let her read what she wrote down.
All right. And she'll take in all of that and be sort of shocked and surprised to hear all of this. And she says, "You believe this?" And I'll say this: when she speaks to you, she'll speak to you in undercommon. Because that's cool. And yeah, and she will say, "So, you believe this sightless one? You believe he is responsible for these attacks?"
Yes. She'll quickly go over that, how her psychosis presented. So, and then like how she had kind of figured out in her recent divination. So if you look at all of this, you can see how people who had no motivation would just slaughter each other because they weren't slaughtering each other. Their reality had been subtly corrupted. It had been manipulated. In a very real way, their reality was not our reality. They were responding to a completely different set of circumstances. It's horrific. But I think this may be what happened.
Why would this entity want to attack the drow?
Insight check?
Of her?
No,
Or-
of me. Like I've touched consciousnesses with this thing. I mean,
You can make me a
knowledge check?
very high insight check if you wish to.
Okay.
Very high DC.
I mean, that's not bad. That's a 17 on the dice. It's probably not going to make it if it's very, very high, but it's a 17 insight. I'm good at insight, which is a plus 11. So 28.
28. That's really good. This entity you don't know much about. You know that it's some kind of aberration, and you know that aberrations, especially like aberrations that would be considered great old ones, such as this, they're considered to be unknowable, generally speaking. Their minds sort of being like so alien and beyond that it's hard to sort of gauge. So naturally, it's very tricky to gauge the intentions of such a being. It has, you look on its past, you see it has an obsession with like gaining people's eyes, but gaining the eyes might just be a motive to sort of being able to take over their like ability to sense the world and warp their minds. But that's just one instance.
I got nothing.
I'm sorry, you got a 28. Just like looking back on what you've experienced and what you've seen, you don't know why it would be attacking drow settlements. Like what the purpose of that would be, like the conquest? But that never seems to have been within its agenda before. in history.
Yeah, I didn't really believe, but I would think about it because she asked.
Yeah.
And I will answer. Don't know.
She'll sort of lean in and she will speak in common, so swap the common, and she'll say, there are some who believe that the drow are being tested by both. You're aware of the Spider Queen? Did your mother ever tell you?
No. She never told me anything about before the ascent. She barely talked to me about the ascent, just that nightmares. She spoke of Livengorn. But she made sure I knew the old language and dragon chess.
She'll kind of look with your passive insight. You'll sense there's like a discomfort. Like she doesn't know you that well, but she knew your mother, and sort of telling you things that she decided not to tell you feels a little bad. So you get the sense that you could get out of her some information here, but you have to convince her. But there's definitely a conflict of interest there.
So this is hard for me because I love my mum and I do want to respect her. But I'm supposed to go, I'm just going to point to the prophecy. You told me yourself I was sent, and she told me I was supposed to retrieve something. And any information helps me do what I'm supposed to do. And I wish Mum were here because I would ask her. I've wished my mum was here every day since I left Terra. But I don't have a way to talk to her. So I'm asking you.
Make me a persuasion check. No, I'm still playing. I'm opening music.
15.
15. She sort of looks a little exasperated. And she'll say, the drow dwell in the Underdark. Universally, for as far as I know or have heard in my many years, worship the Spider Queen, Loth. She is a betrayer god. Very evil. There are those in this very respite who still worship her in secret, but would not do so. It's been made very clear to us, those of Lyrengorn, what would happen if some sort of Loth plot came about. We would be kicked away from this hospitality we've been receiving. But Loth is not good. She is quite a vicious betrayer god who encourages the infighting amongst the drow to keep us mighty, the backstabbing, the keeping an eye on our shoulder. It's her way of testing us. And there are many here who believe Many-Eye Goddess is testing us, and that these apparitions in the dark were agents of her chaos, were agents of her punishments, being displeased with drow. There are many who believe this.
This is the sightless. I'm not saying that everything that you just said isn't 100% true. I know what I saw and it knows me. In this case, maybe what happens tomorrow, because the two things may not be connected. I want to be logical, yes. There could be two separate problems that have nothing to do with each other. And we have to consider that. But the problem underground, the problem under Lyrengorn, I believe it's sightless.
I may recommend, as I have been in the Moonweaver's light for some 50 years now, and received many prophecies and heard of many more, must be careful interpreting visions. It can be misleading. It can be. My friend who you met yesterday had skepticisms against my interpretations of my prophecy, and I do not blame him. The prophecies can be tricky to interpret by their very nature. And I, similarly, am not saying that you're wrong either. I simply mean to waylay to you that receiving prophecies is a difficult thing, very difficult to interpret.
I mean, she was pretty clear. Retrieve something, and the enemy is the sightless. I mean,
Yes. I think I more refer to your sightless one at the end of the vision.
It spoke to me. I know its voice.
Always mean to say, be cautious, that is all. Maybe it does not even matter in this particular situation, but if you were to receive more prophecies, will in the future.
I thank you for your wisdom. I will keep it close.
Yeah. He sort of like looks out the crack in the door, and there's the drow who are doing better, but are still floating around the Temple of the Shadow. And she says, "I worry for my people. Some plot is about." And she swapped back to Undercommon, by the way, a while ago. She says, if some plot happens and the drow are responsible, as you all seem to believe, it might mean that we are not going to be welcome here for much longer. I do not know where we would go. Back into the Underdark, I expect.
Yes. So that's not happening. You belong to the Moonweaver. This is your home.
It would be, if I may say, it would be a devious plot by a Loth. Angered that drow have exited the Underdark to come here and then funnel some more believers up top and then have them get us kicked out and force us back into the Underdark and back to our return to Loth. I don't know how many takers there would be. That's certainly a cunning plot if that is the case scenario.
Aberrant things create thralls. With Loth, I don't know.
Loth is the spider goddess, and spiders have many eyes. They do say that Loth depicted, she is a beautiful drow woman with the upper body, and a horrific giant spider with the lower body, covered across her feminine form with many eyes, like a spider. That is what she is depicted in many mythologies. It's difficult to interpret.
I'll need to let my team know all of this. And maybe fill out my star chart some.
Well, you may tell your friends that I am going to be giving a general recommendation that all drow stay in Shadow's respite during the Moonweaver's ribbon ceremony. If there is some plot, I'm hoping that we can be careful not to mix streams. Some will be shown to have been innocent, proven to be innocent.
I understand. And she'll stand up and she'll execute that vow that she had done.
Yep.
If you think it worth your time, I don't know if I mean, clearly you know my mum. She's savvy. She'd be a good ally. I don't know if there's a way to get her here, but So,
Well, if you ever see her, tell her that I say hi.
I will. She's been in terror.
One part of me is not surprised, the other part of me thinks it's ridiculous. There's never one for... I don't know. But if she's happy, and it seems she is, popped out a child, good for her.
I'm glad you're not too disappointed.
Your mother was, well, she never struck me as the homemaking type, so...
She wasn't. She wasn't dad raised me. She was off doing things.
At least some things seem to remain the same here and there. Well, if there's nothing else, I do have much to do before ceremonies tomorrow.
Yvain will take her leave.
Cool.
And this
Okay.
time, she's going to try to do star map stuff, and if there's not, then she'll go straight back to the end.
Sure. Yeah, and you start doing star map stuff, and if you go up to the observatory, you know, and speak to a couple of the people there, you get the sense that the druids there have many ways of creating star maps. Some they create it as a more of like an abstract creative experience where they'll just like make up their own night sky. Others will very precisely attempt to track the night sky right above their heads. Some will actually try to create a night sky in what they think it might be like on the opposite side of the world. And it's a very personal experience making a star map, so you begin to understand that it's not. It is very based in like mathematics and cosmology, and there is that element, but there is also a deeply personal artistic portion to the creation of the star map. Some are purely like, that's there, maybe like 2 inches in that direction. Some people do it that way. But you find those druids are the ones that insist upon that way are a little lower level. They don't seem to expand much past that. The Moonweaver seems to encourage the art of self-expression.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And then you can return, and you may all find yourselves into the tavern that night, the night before the Moonweaver ribbon ceremony. You guys can all, you know, have a drink, share your tales of what you did around the day. Finch shows up looking a little too relaxed, maybe. Looking a little too loose, a little too just like feeling good.
I had
That's too much vacation.
Massage.
Yeah. Zarvol's hands are a little burned, maybe. Some glass in the fur, maybe. Some hard glass in the fur.
I had a quick bookkeeping question on my end.
Yeah.
Unless I'm misremembering, so Glint paid out to the Phalar Stoneweaver, the rune craftsman that he spoke with last week to work on that ring of Puzzler's Wit.
Right.
I know Glint paid up front. I think the timetable was before the ceremony, but I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly in terms of when he said it'll be finished by.
He said it would be, you would have it, you get it now. It will be done this evening. So you may add that to your inventory. We'll see you got that inventory.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
No problem. Cool. And if that is that, yeah, you guys all find yourselves gathered around the table. And Finch is looking real loose. Cass's fingers are maybe like a little red from heavy string play, perhaps earlier today, preparing for the performances. Yeah, and you all just seem to have had a fun time at Disneyland. At which points, a certainly less vacation-y individual will enter within. Yes, Naelus Ildereth will approach your table and sort of bow respectfully once more and say, "Good evening. I hope you have all had a fine evening. I was curious if you still meant to lend your assistance during the ceremony tomorrow."
Of course. What can we do for you?
It's quite simple. I do not ask much, but I have managed to convince the Conclave that these omens are warnings from the Moonweaver, and, well, they're not ones to take the Moonweaver's prophecies casually. So I've convinced them to up the guards. There will be more hunters in the streets tomorrow, and the High Priestess will be attended to by a paladin, at least one at all times. And I will be attending them as well. What I would ask of all of you, and what they agree would be best, is that if you do your best to immerse yourself in the ceremonies as best you can, and keep an eye out for any unusual activity. The carnival, the various districts of the city, see what they all have to offer, and when the time comes for the final Moonweaver ribbon ceremony, I would ask that your personal protection for the Conclave be lended in the airing. So there is a bonus. You might get to see the ceremony from the best seats in the hall.
That sounds... go ahead.
No, I was just wondering what time of day this ceremony takes place. The actual show portion, but the ribbons.
It begins after dusk. As you begin to see the sun setting, you will know it's time to begin to make your way to the airy lookout, where the Crescent Conclave will be observing them. Most of the Conclave. The coordinator of the Sky Swimmers, of course, will be taking part in the ceremony, and the High Priestess will join for the later portion.
I see. Thank you.
Yes, of course. But they will be here and there throughout the ceremony. If you wish to know who the members of the Conclave are, I'd be more than happy to share, if that would aid. There is the High Priestess Alara Moonshadow. She is the High Priestess of the Temple of the Moon, and she will be the primary spiritual leader in charge of the ceremony here and there, who I will have my eyes on most attentively. There will be Arcanist Loreless, who is the head of magical studies here at Lyranborn. She is responsible for all applications of magic and arcane learning. There is the Huntmaster Alarian, who is the head of the Hunters Guild and is leader of the Wild Elves who reside in the Elven Peaks. And lastly, there is Sky Swimmer Tal'Dorei, who is the main coordinator for Sky Swimmers and prepares for the Moonweaver ceremony throughout the year. So this is a big day for her tomorrow. She'll be quite distracted. And those are the 4 members of the con. So I thought I'd just tell you their identities. But yes, if you could simply enjoy the ceremonies and everything that Lyranborn has to offer, and when the time comes for the actual ceremony, join us on the lookout.
Excellent.
Do we have time to talk about the mission afterwards? And Glint, are you able to make it so that our conversation is quiet?
Yes, I can do that. Would you like me to do that now? Here or somewhere else?
If you can go someplace a little more private, yeah. Melis, would you join us?
Certainly.
Thank you.
And indeed, they will join you to whichever of your plush, cushy rooms you decide to attend in. And if you wish, Glint, you may indeed cast your spell to make it nigh impossible to eavesdrop.
Go ahead and toss up a private sanctum spell.
Only but the eyes of gods can peer into this room right now. And yeah, you all find yourselves in the room, and it's impossible to track Niles's expressions past their mask, but their eyes sort of float around the room, waiting for whatever's to come next.
So I'm basically going to recap exactly what I told the priestess, because I know that neither he nor Nyx know, and they both need to be read in, but taken from the exact same place, which was essentially from the grotto when searching, like right before we got to Solar.
Got it. Nihilus will be concerned and say, it is interesting to think that this lesser idol would have any ability to stand in the way of the Moonweaver's will. She is a goddess, a powerful one, especially here in Ireland. You tell her about the High Priestess's concerns about maybe it has something to do with Lolth. He says Lolth is always been an enemy of the Arkart and the Moonweaver especially, but to a vision, it does bring concern.
I know its voice. I am not saying that maybe Lolth doesn't have something that's going on with what's going on tomorrow. I do not know if tomorrow and what's going on underneath are or are not connected, because we don't have anything to suggest one way or the other. What's going underneath? That's the sightless.
Is it possible that they're working in conjunction together?
Absolutely, I don't know how we would verify such a thing.
Because the prime deities, work in unison all the time, and even during the calamity, the betrayer gods would ally.
On occasion.
And I'm simply remembering what happened in Stellar with the sightless one intervening against the Aboleth, who in turn were trying to deprive worship of the prime deity. It's possible there may be some sort of territorial dispute between some of the betrayer gods, some sort of alliance or power struggle, or alliance of certain groups that worship them.
Yeah, but there's probably, I don't know how to know that. At this time, she's going to take her journal, which has, it's going to be open to the day where she went to the observatory and got the reading that predicted Nihilus walking in. And then like the next day is that, and she's just going to hand it to Nihilus and continue the conversation.
All right, Nihilus will just start flipping through. Yeah, I'm giving you a number of handouts, but Lolth will be the most probably important one in this moment. I was just giving you a couple of events too that have come up that I'm catching up with a little bit. But and it will put up there that Nihilus will very much begin to describe Lolth and say that Lolth is essentially Sekhnin's negative counterpart. The Moonweaver venerates darkness, but venerates the light between that darkness, the stars, the moon, and is a goddess of trickery, but a gentle trickery, one that aids, one that helps, and one that is gentle. Lolth is the opposite. She venerates the black, the darkness, and tells you to use it as, use it so that you might use misdirection, might use slander, might use shadow steps to further your ends. That personal strength and power is great, and that all who live under the sun deserve death. So Lolth very much is the counterpart and is a great deceiver. It's concerned, especially when the Drow are involved. It speaks highly of Lolth and her intervention. Is it possible, Ruvain? I don't mean to discredit anything you've felt and experienced, but is it possible that this sightless one, this many-eyed creature, is a trick, perhaps, of the spider, meant to try and convince you that it's something not as dangerous as it actually is?
Are you familiar with Clemane Astral and the Astral Scrolls?
I am not.
And I'll read them in on the rest of it.
So, well, 40 minutes has gone by. That's the storyteller Yvain is recited number of.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. And she will, and they will sort of nod and understand and say, "My question stands. It's a legend that could be quite conveniently used by the many-eyed goddess."
Spiders do have a lot of eyes.
It's possible. It is possible. I cannot say that it is not. I don't believe that it is not, but I cannot prove that it is not, and that's meaningful.
Well, whether it is the Spider Queen or the sightless one that you have encountered, it is an enemy that must be waylaid. So, I think distinguishing which one it is doesn't help much at this point. All that matters is that they're stopped. I will bring about some divinations tonight and see if the Moonweaver can provide any final wisdoms before tomorrow. But all that matters is stopping the event. And once that event is stopped, we delve into the Underdark and cease whatever this danger is that draws so close to the city. Well, we will talk about that part once the ceremony is done. But I thank you deeply. In the name of the Moonweaver, I thank you all for just keeping your eyes sharp and your aid in the lookout once the sun goes down. Right. Now, may the moonlight bathe your eyes as you sleep. We will bow low, and he'll just sort of leave, sort of exit.
Oh, a lot of handouts popped up.
Yeah, I realized I was falling behind on a couple of events that have come up a couple of times, so I thought I'd hand those ones out too. But the Spider Queen is the most relevant to this moment.
Yeah.
Right, so tomorrow we breakfast, we carnival, we do our thing. I had planned on watching the ribbon ceremony at the observatory, but if we have seats at the Airy, then I mean we're gonna watch it at the Airy, yeah.
That seems like a no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Anything anyone would like to do before heading to bed tonight? Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, let's hit the bed. You all find yourselves to sleep. There is no doubt some excitement amongst maybe some of you, where one of you has a great performance and a great carnival to be a part of. But also there is this potential plot. Could be something, could be nothing. And maybe there's excitement wrapped between the excitement of viewing this annual event, which no doubt will be gorgeous and beautiful, and this plot you've been asked to keep an eye out for. So there's a threat of danger and a promise of great religious experience. So you all find your ways to bed that night. And then you'll wake up the next morning like it's Christmas, because it kind of is. It is the winter solstice. It is Baron's Eve, as it is known. And today is the day where people are often known to hand out presents to one another and, love on each other in those ways. Today's a great day.
Winter's Crest.
Yeah, is Winter's Baron's Eve a Winter Crest?
We all got it wrong. Like we've all been planting Winter's Crest gifts.
I might be wrong. Yeah, it's Winter's Crest, isn't it?
No, it's my birthday. That's today.
Oh, it's your birthday. That's right.
And Finch's birthday's in 2 days.
That's right. Winter's Crest is like the general. It's basically Winter's Crest is Christmas. The Baron's Eve is the longest night of the year, and considered the winter solstice. And Yvain's birthday. So you all wake up and you're like, cool, Baron's Eve. It's gonna be a long night. But more importantly, it's Yvain's birthday. First birthday you haven't spent with your mom and dad. But it is also your first birthday that you're spending with your new family, your new friends, in the city of Lyrenborn, underneath, no doubt, the beauty of the Moonweaver.
It is kind of weird. Like, Mum always told me stories on my birthday, and then like I'm here today, my birthday, and we'll see it.
Little birthday presents on behalf of Allura Vysoren, I suppose. And yeah, here you are, and the city's already bustling down below where things are happening. There's stalls. Nix, I'm gonna say that you're already gone. You were staying here. You're at the carnival right now. You're enjoying that. And all of you awaken. Man, today's the day. Every district is going to be alight with celebration, stalls, vendors, and this Witchlight Carnival, which seems to be one of the major attractions, is open to the public. So, where do you guys start? You guys have quite a day of celebrating today.
I have a ticket to the carnival. That's where I'm going.
To the carnival! All right. Beverly's like almost shaking. She's so excited.
Does that mean more for apples?
Yeah.
She's just addicted now.
Yeah, it's just like, are you okay with apples? She's got like sugar rushes and shit. All right. The Aurora Concordant is going to the Witchlight Carnival, it sounds like. Very cool. There were words I didn't think I'd hear myself say, admittedly. But here we are. And boy, is there much to see. There's much to see and much to do. So this is just kind of a general map. So, in a minute while I get myself slightly in order for this. There it is. Okay. You guys come to the Witchlight Carnival. Give me some descriptions or not. It's fine too. Start tracker at the left corner. Space each game. Space. Okay, got it. So there's some events. Sorry, there's a lot going on here. I'm just scrolling the right spot. Okay. As the sun comes out and the day has begun, it's a little bit of a unique time here at the carnival, as they usually like to operate throughout the night. But today, they'll be operating throughout the day and throughout the night as well. There's a couple of... Actually, it's going to be a very short day. You're up here in the north, and there's only going to be a couple of hours of sunlight, is what we're told. It's mostly going to be dark. As you wake up, in fact, it's probably still dark out. As you come to the Witchlight Carnival, those last twinkles of light from various stars here at dusk, or dawn, excuse me, are just twinkling in the air, and you see giant dragonflies whirling overhead, trailing streamers and a low mist that curls over the ground. Through a floral archway, you glimpse wondrous and vibrant creatures, elf stiltwalkers, dancing fairies, and many painted performers. Everywhere there is laughter, pixie dust, bubbles, and the wistful tune of a whistling calliope. It is quite a spectacle to see here at the Witchlight Carnival. Let's see. So you guys are going to come to the front gate, and you're going to see the ticket booth. All right, as you come to the ticket booth, a silver statue of a dancing fairy is mounted on the roof of this ticket booth, and surrounding it is fluttering butterflies. The booth is decorated with an animated depiction of the night sky with shooting stars arcing across it. An elderly goblin perches behind the ticket counter, peering at you quizzically through a spyglass. He lowers the spyglass and calls out to you. Greetings, fair goers. Welcome to the Witchlight Carnival. Yeah. So, if you want to come in, you're going to have to buy some tickets. It is 8 silver per adult, 3 silver per children. You can also, of course, for children. Says you are also more than welcome to try and barter for the tickets.
8 silver, you said?
Yes, 8 silver for admission.
Oh, wonderful. I think that seems quite reasonable given the quality of the acts I've been told it'll be here.
Indeed. And he will take your 8 silver, place it under, and is going to hand you a ticket. And is going to say, your ticket is good for 8 attractions, young man. And if you want to see more, you'll better come back and buy another ticket.
Certainly. Thank you.
Also, one more thing. And he's going to take out a set of fairy wing or butterfly wings, just sort of like those, those like kitty birthday part, like fairy princess birthday party wings. Basically, those takes those out and starts handing them out to whoever pays for a ticket. And says, if you're going to be in the Witchlight Carnival, you're going to need to dress for the occasion. Everyone must wear butterfly wings, or you'll be asked to leave.
Very well. Glint puts on his little Burger King crown that's mandated.
Yeah, absolutely. Does everyone pay the 8 silver fee? I believe one of you already has a ticket, or a couple of you already have a ticket.
I do not. I will. I'll pay my fee, but Zarvald will say to the goblin in Goblin, "All right, give me a ticket, Goblin."
And he goes, ha! And he'll just sort of giggle at you and just hand you the ticket. Just kind of like look at you with like a like look on his eye.
I don't want to. Like not even point. Just kind of like motion his head toward the wings. I don't want to wear those.
Well, then you can't come in. So how about that?
Give them to me.
There you go. Give them to you.
Just wear them under your cloak.
Under my cloak? All right.
They must be worn and shown off. Don't try and hide them now.
Stop chirping. I hate goblin chirping.
Says the hobgoblin. It says, well, have a fun time. Have a fun time, everybody. And sends you all on your way. And as you're sent on your way, I'm going to give you a map for Witchlight Carnival in Facebook. And you guys can decide where you want to go, what you want to do, how much fun you want to have. Many attractions to see, many things to do.
Oh.
The dragonfly rides. Yeah? Dragonfly rides? We should go ride a dragonfly.
Are they actual dragonflies?
Eva needs some.
You look up over the carnival and you actively see, like, they're right there with your own 2 eyes. Giant dragonflies, big enough to be mounted by any meaningful creature.
Oh yeah, I want to ride dragonflies.
There you go.
I want to ride dragonflies too.
Elaine, it's your birthday today.
It is, and this is the best thing ever. I'm going to ride a dragonfly, and then I'm going to see the Moonweaver's ribbons.
Well, I think then, as the law dictates and commands, you do have full command of where we're going.
To the dragonflies!
To the
Oh,
dragon.
hey, Beverly. Hey, Beverly.
Yeah.
And he like hands or holds his map over towards her and he says, "Do you see what's just north of the dragonfly rides there? Feasting orchard.
Feasting orchard. That sounds like fun.
I bet there's apples."
Oh, apples. Yeah, that's right. Oh, cool. Yeah, we should go there.
What kind
mean,
of
of course,
feasting
if-
orchard doesn't have apples?
Right? But yeah, of course, only if Yvain wants to go because it's Yvain's birthday.
Feasting apples!
Okay, and she'll be, yeah, she's all giddy and happy. She's never been to the carnival before. She's very excited. And as you guys are walking down the street, you're going to see two figures. A 12-foot tall walking tree, a garland and golden ribbons marches down the thoroughfare. Emerald clouds swirl above the tree and a rain down golden. Oh, swirl above the tree and rain down golden. There it is. Spinning sycamore seeds. Fairgoers try to catch the seeds before they hit the ground. As the seeds gently fall, a chatty squirrel scrambles along the boughs of the trees, handing dandelions to select passerbys. And wandering along with this tree, almost like in a sort of parade-like fashion, would be the wonderful Nyx with their fairy companions, sort of like playing a sort of like a fiddle song, sort of welcoming the appearance of this sort of small treant creature, sort of walking along and handing out all of these little gifts. I want to give us a performance check, Nyx, to see how entertaining you are.
See. 29.
29. Sounds like you're pretty dang, yeah. You play this violin song and everyone watches as you go by and it draws in a crowd of people around this treant individual who are just crazy to get their hands on some of these sycamore seeds and receive some of these gifts. You know, Nyx, who your companions are. The tree's name is Northwind, who is like a young treant sapling. And the squirrel, his name is Red. And Red goes, "You're doing great, Nyx. Just keep it up. You're such a talent. You're such a talent." And is like handing out dandelions to like children, whoever else is that pass by. What do you all do as you see the sycamore seed, dandelions, and Nyx? What do you do?
I think Zarvog probably looks at Nyx and says, so every day with this, huh?
Every day's a party.
I can see.
And you know, Nyx, that like your main job is just to like keep morale up and keep people happy and enjoying the scene. You're under no obligation to have to like stay with the treants. And you can wander around with these guys if you want. You technically still be doing your job if you wanted.
Excellent. Let's go see those dragonfly races.
All right. Does anyone attempt to try and catch some sycamore seeds as they come sort of floating down from the treetop?
I will. I'll try to catch a seed.
Yvain goes, goes to try and catch one. Beverly's definitely, they go and try and catch one. I need a just a flat dexterity check if anyone wants to try and catch a sycamore seed.
Yeah, I want to try and catch
it.
That's a 3.
A 3? You're like, you can't catch one.
Oh, 10.
I had fun trying.
A 10? And Beverly doesn't either. But Zarvog, you managed to catch one. Do me a favor. And roll me a d8.
Oh, all right. Six.
As the sycamore seed lands in your hand, you kind of catch it, and you go to look at it in your hand, you open your palm, and the sycamore seed is gone. Instead, there's a single gold piece. You may add to your inventory.
Oh, this is a fun game.
Let's see. And as you three are catching, Red will sort of run down the tree and sort of like hand you a dandelion, Zarval. Will hand you a dandelion, Yvain. Will hand one to Beverly. And he says, make sure to blow it out and cast a wish. And that will be, and then they sort of kind of keep going down the lane. The fairies like keep the music going that Nyx was doing. Not as good, but still drawing attention.
Zarval will hold his dandelion down in front of Fenn's nose and let Fenn try and blow it.
Then sort of, and then we'll sort of like almost like sneeze at it.
Sneeze,
and
right?
It sort of blows away. Hopefully you may wish. Yep, you may makes a wish. Send me what your wish is, you mean? And Beverly will sort of look at hers and like look at it like intensely, like she's really deeply considering. And she kind of finally blows it out, kind of like watches them float away, and she licks with glee. And with that, you guys continue on your way. It's time for some dragonflies. Dragonfly, where are you?
That tent back there looks like a big slice of cheese.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I was thinking that. All right, so you guys, I believe, are going to come over here, if I'm not mistaken. Where are those dragonfly rides? Where am I missing them on our map? Oh, they're down here. They're down, way down south. I don't know why I'm bringing a tree up along to you guys. We'll use the birthday girl as our party representative. All right, dragonfly rides. Huge lily pads rest on the surface of a pool glistening with phosphorescent algae. Giant dragonflies use lily pads as landing platforms, buzzing loudly overhead with wings as brilliant as stained glass windows, and alighting briefly to drop off and pick up excited passengers. Near the entrance, a small smiling tree turns your way and beckons you over. A red squirrel clinging to its leafy canopy, peering at you suspiciously. It seems that Northwind and Red are now running this attraction. Very well. Anyway, you guys, you guys approach. They go, it's good to see you again. It's been such a long time. It's so good. Step right up, step right up. You want to be on a dragonfly ride? We got your back. That'll be anyone who wants to get aboard. All I need from you is one little punch to your ticket. And then you can hop on a dragonfly and do a little riding around.
Oh yeah, that sounds like fun.
Let's go.
Oh, good. And looks at you, Nyx, and goes, oh, good to see you again, Nyx. It's been about 3 minutes. It's so nice to see you. You don't need to punch a ticket. You work here. Get on there. Yeah, good.
Lovely.
Yeah, good. You get on that. Trying to get some goddamn carnival. I just got so much money.
Why are they called?
No, I don't want it. Fuck me. Okay, you guys all find your way to your various dragonflies. And they sort of fly up into the air, fly up high, and they begin to start doing some lazy figure eights around the carnival's thoroughfare at a height of about 20 feet above the ground. It's not too high, but it's nice. It's not the most exciting aerial travel some of you have ever been on. There we go.
Sorry, don't read that.
But yes, you guys are on top of them. Anyone who wants to try and steer the dragonfly off course to do their own thing, I'll do an animal handling check, please. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go, dragonfly.
Go for it. The dragonfly goes, and that's all it says.
Yeah, 19.
A 19. Yeah, you're like, let's go. You like put down your shade and sort of begin to buzz off in another direction. You redirect the dragonfly. What'd you get there, Yubing?
This 17 on the dice. I think my modifier is a +8. Let me look real quick because I've got +8, so 25.
Yeah, no problem there. Yeah, you definitely both begin to redirect the dragonflies. The rest of you kind of just like on your dragonflies, buzzing around. You guys are, and you're enjoying it. And you're flying all over the Witchlight Carnival. You're seeing the various attractions here and there, and it's generally a good time. I'll say that you two are kind of off doing your thing. You're having a great time. Those of you who are doing like the lazy figure eights and just kind of enjoying the ride, you guys start to hear sort of shouts of alarm around the lily pads down below, and you see a giant dragonfly has taken up prematurely with a patron on its back. You see this middle-aged elven individual, a little stingy looking maybe, who has like blue beads in their hair. It's just kind of they're sort of like flying through the air, and they're kind of have lost control of their dragonfly, and you see Red's like, I don't pull on the antenna. What are you doing? Does anyone want to try and aid in any way?
I think Finch would.
Finch? All right, Finch, you're like trying to be a fucking hero. Make me an animal handling check.
Just the visual of everyone on a dragonfly in and of itself, but especially Zarbog.
Finch brings down the like dread helm. He's like, no more dragonfly. You go no
Finch
further.
can't even go to the carnival without saving somebody.
That's a nat 20.
No. Finch.
Overachiever.
Don't Stop My Heart by Motley Crue starts playing, and Finch stands up on the back and like pulls down the helm and like jumps off the back of the dragonfly and like fucking starts like flying down off the side. They're like, what are they doing? And you land on the back of the dragonfly, and you're like, don't worry, man, I'll save you. And he's like, I'm a man. And you grab the dragonfly. And you like steer with one hand. You like hold this man like in your arm like a baby. He's like, what the fuck? And you're like, and you're standing too. You're not like mounted. You're like standing on his back, and you just heroically like, all right, let's get you back home. And you like fly down and land on the lily pad and let this man off and goes, thank you. You saved me. Who are you?
Name's Finch. Finch Endegard. Just like fly off.
And you just like fly back up in the air. You guys he's like Finch Endegard. And he will remember your name, whoever that elf was. But it was
I
just
feel like
another
when
day.
I said the name though, I could like caress his face.
Yeah, you're like Finch Endegard. And he's like,
Dude.
yeah, he swoons a little bit for sure as you save his ass, and all is well. And with that, the mood at the carnival is going to rise by 1 point. It seems morale is going to pick up due to Finch's heroics.
Yeah. All goes well.
Beverly's just like, wow, maybe me one day. It's just like having a whole like Robin thing in the background. It's like, man, maybe one day. Incredible. And with that, the ride sort of comes to the end, and your dragonflies make their way back to the lily pads, and you land after a couple of minutes of enjoying the ride. And yeah, you that will come to an end. The dragonfly ride complete. What's next for the crew?
There were snail races, weren't there?
There are snail races. There's also, as previously suggested, where is it? The feasting orchard.
Oh yes, feasting orchard. Let's do that next.
All right, feasting orchard is next. What got that going on? So that is Okay, to the feasting orchard. Music and mirth radiate from this park. A hearty scent of flowers, mead, berry pies waft through the air. Stilt walkers pluck fruits from trees. Musicians drum, pipe, and strum. And everywhere there is singing, dancing, and an inordinate amount of custard. You guys go in there, and you hear largely being sort of called out by a number of fairies. You hear, step right up for one punch of your tickets. You may join the fairy cake eating contest. And everyone goes, yeah. And some people are getting their tickets punched to sit down. Beverly's like, ooh, and she like runs over, gets her punched, sits down. Does anyone else want to join in on the fairy cake eating contest?
Oh, you gotta see if you can enter Happy in this.
I'm happy in
He's a fairy cake eating champion.
What is a fairy cake character?
You walk over and you're inspecting them, and you see these small glazed cupcakes. You see one of them like has a bite, like someone maybe took a bite out of one, and they seem to be filled with a dollop of berry custard.
Oh, absolutely, sign me up.
Happy was made for this.
Are small companions allowed to compete?
For a punch of your ticket, you can sign up whoever you want.
I will punch my ticket and sign up Happy. Go eat cupcakes, love.
Happy can't speak, but if Happy could speak, Happy would go, finally. And would like...
I need this art so bad.
Hop over. So yeah, we've got like Glint the dwarf. We got Beverly, the like up-and-coming paladin. And we got like a little bunny rabbit with a unicorn horn are all lined up. Is anybody else joining the eating contest?
Oh no, I have to watch this.
Oh, I have to watch this.
Yvain and I are just standing there like...
Yeah.
Got 2 gold on Beverly.
2 gold on Beverly?
I'll take that as going to Happy.
Yeah.
Okay. I never thought I'd have to put a stat to Happy's eating abilities, but we're going to.
Plus 12.
Plus 12.
I mean, he has showed startling proficiency with it.
Okay, so this is mostly... Yvain, you can represent Happy. You've got the Almirage stats up there. So, the contest works as follows. The goal is simple. Eat as many cupcakes as you can within 60 seconds. The contest, any contestant can swallow a cupcake in about 3 seconds and safely eat as many as 3 plus your con modifier for each additional cream cake. So, that was a little confusing. You can swallow a cupcake in about 3 seconds and safely eat as many cupcakes as 3 plus con modifier for each additional cake eaten. Same grows, which is what does he say? Each additional cake. Oh, I see. I understand. So basically, you can eat 2 cupcakes a round for free, but that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for at all. So what you can do is you can eat 3 plus your con modifier without probably like just choking yourself to death. 3 plus your con modifier every 3 seconds.
Oh, wow.
However, there is a con save that comes with that. And if you fail that con save, you're going to take custard damage.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're just going to barf. Okay. What's that mean? It's custard damage.
Custard damage, that's right. Anyone reached to 0 hit points by custard damage will be unable to continue and lose the contest. And also will have custard splattered all over them, which is very unfortunate. So that is what we're going to do. I am going to simply make it easy and say that Happy has advantage. And we'll use normal stats, but we'll have advantage on con saves. So, all right, I gotta get back to these stats. Because I gotta enter into this custard eating contest.
Yeah.
So his his con is +0, so he can only eat 3, but man, he's gonna plow 3 every 3 seconds. He's just
Bet.
gonna be like a machine going.
Beverly's like, I'm not gonna lose to a rabbit.
Glint's con is 18.
Okay, so plus your modifier, so that would be 4 plus 3, so 7 every 3 seconds.
That's terrifying just to visualize.
That's really,
Like Kirby inhaling them.
So I'm gonna make our lives easy and say that the 3 plus con modifiers for a round. So we're not sitting here for 20 rounds.
Mhm.
So you can safely eat 2 cupcakes a round, but if you want to really push it, it's 3 plus your con modifier. Okay, let's get to it. So Beverly actually has a pretty decent con, because if you might remember, someone gave her an amulet of health, so she's gonna do pretty good at this. So she can do 7 a round. Glint, you can do 7 a round as well. Happy can do 3 a round. Okay, let's get to it. They go, on your marks, get set, eat cupcakes. Okay, round 1. Con save, please, for anyone who wants to eat their maximum amount of cupcakes.
Let me double check my con save bonus. Okay. All right, that is going to be a 19 on the die. So that's 27.
So you will. Glint starts gorging. Beverly starts gorging. How does Happy do?
He got a 15.
You got a 15. Happy is only limited by the size of Happy's mouth, but is just throwing him back. So all of you succeed. Round 2. Make me another set. Beverly gets hers shoveled in.
That's just a 17 from me.
That will be just fine. You shovel more in.
Happy gets in that 20.
Happy gets that 20. Happy is into 6 cupcakes now. Has a tiny mouth, but an endless belly. All right, round 3. Go for it.
But a big spirit.
Ooh, that's only 12.
That will still succeed. You still shovel some more in. That's going to be 21 cupcakes. And Beverly is, she's like slowing down, but she's like, she perseveres and pushes through, and she's got 21 inside of her now. What about Happy?
15.
15. Happy puts some more down. Is at 9 cupcakes. Is definitely falling behind, and Happy's limited by the size of Happy's mouth. Happy's Happy's in a sprinter. Happy's like a marathon, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, round 4. Go for it.
16.
16. You guys shovel some more down. That's 28 cup. Oh, Beverly and Glint are neck and neck. They're like looking at each other, and every round it's the same amount of cupcakes. One of them's waiting for them to fail. How does Happy do?
17.
17 is a save, and Happy's into 12 cupcakes and is not even half as much as the rest, because Happy's just got a little happy mouth, and that's all Happy.
Oh.
He's just
anyway,
happy to be there.
Happy is just happy to be there. Happy's barely aware there's a contest. It's just like Pac-Man on the table.
Making that noise.
Let's go.
Making the Pac-Man noise. Wow, wow.
Definitely making the Pac-Man noise. Ow, 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 ow. All right, con saves for round 5. We're halfway through.
13 plus 8, so 21.
21. Oh, Glint, my guy, my friend, my brother in Bahamut. You pull ahead of Beverly. She's like trying to shove them in. She's going to take custard damage.
Oh no.
Yeah, she takes some custard damage. Beverly takes 9 custard damage.
Oh shit. Substantial
but
custard
she
damage.
keeps so she doesn't manage to actually get those ones down. So she's just going to get the safe amount of cupcakes down. She gets 2 more, so she falls behind. You're 5 ahead of her. How does Happy do?
Happy got a 10.
Happy got a 10. Happy's just enough to keep going. Happy's going to get 15. We're halfway through. Give me a set of rolls.
19.
So many cupcakes.
So many cupcakes. Okay, what do we get? What do we get?
Oh,
17.
19.
19 and...
Happy got 17.
Okay, you guys are doing just fine. I'm just going to write down some names so I ran out of page at some point here. Okay. Beverly failed again. Is going to take more custard damage. She's like slowing down. She's like looking at Finch, like crying almost.
Oh, no.
She's so ashamed. She's like,
I'm gonna have respect for the glory of Bahamut.
I see we've gone too far now. We've lost the plot.
She is.
I want to.
That's another 9 custard damage.
Glint. I want Glint to like reach over and clap Beverly on the shoulder and give her protection from evil and good, which is not custard specific.
Which will help in no way here.
But I'm gonna burn a charge from that out of the protective verses to give her 2d10 temp HP.
Oh, that's go ahead and roll it. That's nice.
That's gonna be 8 temporary hit points.
8 temporary hit points. She'll take that 8 temporary hit points. Okay. Oh, actually, I've done all wrong. So 10. Okay. But we're still going. It's only round 6. Maybe she can turn it around against the dwarf. Glint. Happy, roll me some con saves.
That's a natural 20. So a 28.
Natural 20.
13.
13. Happy shows no sign of slowing down. That's 21 cupcakes to Happy. But Glint is a fucking savage. And has 49 cupcakes as of now. And meanwhile, Beverly, she comes back. Beverly hits her second one, starts scarfing them down. She's gonna get another 7. She's at 39 cupcakes now. She's determined to turn it around. 3 rounds left. Let's go. Con saves.
Alrighty.
Beverly brings it back around. Here she comes. She's got 46 cupcakes down.
Ooh, that's only 12 for me.
That's still just going to do the job. You're still doing just fine. You're going to choke down 56 cupcakes to Glint. How about you, Vane?
Happy got 11. And by the way, I'll give the 2 gold to Finch now. It was never really about the gold. This is incredibly entertaining.
Oh yes.
Okay. Next round con saves. Beverly unfortunately starts to slow down again. She's only going to get 2 shoveled down before she takes more custard damage.
That's an 11 from me.
You're still going. The DC's 10. You're still going.
16.
16 still going. Glint just is a fucking machine. There's no slowing Glint down.
Glint actually invented cupcakes.
Is that going to be a 63? Happy's doing just fine. That's 27.
That's a lot.
Beverly burns through her temporary hit points and is going to take only 1 additional custard damage.
So if a barbarian is raging, do they resist custard damage, or does it just go right through?
No, custard damage is a special damage, my friend.
Oh no.
All right, last round. Let's see if there's no beating Glint at this point, but let's give it a shot anyway.
That's a 24.
That one.
That's a 24. Glint just shovels down final amounts, and Beverly is going to come back strong to finish off, and is also going to make 55 cupcakes. How does Happy do?
Happy, he didn't make it at the end. That last round, he got a 3.
A 3?
A 3.
Happy only managed to eat 2 cupcakes, and it's going to take 8 custard damage.
Oh no.
Is Happy still alive?
Is Happy die?
Wait, no, he can't be dead. Wait, how many hit points does he have?
I think he's
Oh
at
no!
1.
Oh no!
So
no,
it's
no,
okay. It's
no,
okay. It's death by custard. In the last round, Happy stops and goes, and like looks at Yvain with a look of like, oh no. And Yvain, and then Happy and just full projectile, like blue custard vomit, like out of Happy's mouth. As Happy pukes up 29 cupcakes in this moment, and then just like a truly comical stream of vomit, a volume of which has never been seen out of a rabbit's mouth.
It just keeps
everyone
going.
is like, oh, it's a complete, like at the end of the race, it's a complete mayhem. Happy's just vomiting like 8 times his body mass. Everyone's like, oh my god, the rabbit is People are freaking out, and everyone's like behind Glint being like, oh, it's okay. It's weird.
I'm a
And
bad
Beverly's
mom.
Like,
I should not have allowed this, and I should not be laughing.
Beverly's
I'm
like
going
on
down
her
now.
knees,
So
like
hard
looking
to
up to the
foul.
sky. Oh man, she's lost, but she came second place. She scarfed down 55 cupcakes and kept it down. Glint ate 70 cupcakes. They had to bring a second giant castle of cupcakes for Glint to eat. Glint, you stop and you feel. Oh. And in this moment, there's big applause and celebration. Woo! And Nyx, I imagine you're the one to present the contest winner their prize. You have basically a vial to give to the winner. So if you would like to make a little sort of presentation of the award-winning ceremony, what would you like to say?
What a mythical performance from a mythical man. Here is your prize for your 70 cupcakes down.
Thank you. I was channeling my college days.
And with that, Glint, you have received from Nyx a potion of invisibility.
Oh shit.
However, this is not a normal potion of invisibility. This is a custard cupcake that has the powers of potion of invisibility. So, whenever you decide to eat this cupcake, you will gain the benefits of potion of invisibility.
I'm adding a cupcake of invisibility to my inventory.
There you go.
Critical Role's blueberry cupcake or blueberry cupcake moment.
So you now have a custard cupcake of invisibility, absolutely. And everyone sort of celebrates and goes about their business. Happy doesn't like disappear or anything, but Happy's like laying on the ground behind his chair. He's covered in custard. He's like laying on the ground. His big fat bloated belly is sort of like heaving, and he's just like laying there defeated by custard. Happy has met his match, and it was a custard cupcake from the Feywild.
Oh.
Just laying there, looking up at the sky, defeated.
Okay, you just have to train harder, and you'll win next year.
Happy
Honestly.
immediately like, yeah, go ahead.
I think pound for pound, Happy was the most dangerous person in that competition.
Pound for pound?
He was
Yes.
competing out of his weight class quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Happy like sits up with all of this like consolation, encouragement, and is like looks pretty happy with himself and kind of like smiles and like pops up and sort of like goes to like start doing a push up and then does one and goes "Ooh," and then kind of stops
So
and
like,
then just kind of goes over to Yvain and does one of these like a happy.
is Happy just like completely blue with custard at this point?
Is covered in custard. Is covered in like blueberry custard.
Like, could you?
Oh, let me see if I prepared it today. Okay, I do have prestidigitation prepared for today. Glint will clean the rabbit.
The tap of your staff into the ground, the custard just sort of falls off of Happy, and you can pick up your very fat rabbit. And Happy's like in your arm, like looking a little worse for wear, but we'll be back together in no time. Beverly is like, no, she's not praying. She stands up. She's like good spirited about it, but like was definitely in the drama of the moment. Go up to you, Glint. Like, you are the better warrior.
You did wonderfully. Truly impressive. You'll get me next time, I'm sure.
I feel impressive, and not in a good way. And she's kind of like holding her belly. She's a pretty in shape girl, but let's just say her abs aren't defining through right now, and she's just like a little bloated.
Glint is not. Glint is built sturdy, but not
Glint is built different. Glint is the dwarven custard machine. And Glint looks no worse for wear, I imagine.
Oh yeah, no, Glint's like
Built
fine.
for tough.
Yeah, Glint's fine. Yeah, there's
sticking out a little brush
sweet.
for his beard at the moment.
Yeah, it's just
Little
playing it
grooming.
real cool. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what
Good turkey leg.
prestidigitation is for.
Exactly.
I love
And yeah, and why don't we go ahead and take our break before we progress in anything else? And we'll come back to the carnival soon enough.
that. Love that.
Punch those last.
Oh yeah.
All right. As the party has completed the berry cake eating contest, you look around, people kind of go back to doing what they're doing and going to different stalls and seeing this and seeing that. You're also going to notice that fairly entertained by this individual, a number of people have gathered around this small gnomish bard who is sitting on a tree stump here in the feasting orchards. It's this kind of cute young lady. She has sort of messy black hair. It's tied up into a messy bun, which is very nice robes, or just a sort of vest jerkin almost. It has a very ornate lute in her lap, and it's just sort of strumming away. She also has this large frog sitting beside her, this like white frog with big orange eyes, and they're just kind of hanging out. Nix, you know this person. This is one of your colleagues, who kind of just pops in and pops out. She's kind of almost like a mercenary bard, if you will. She just kind of shows up and plays whenever she wants to show up and disappears when she's done. She's doesn't really travel with the carnival. She just kind of shows up when she wants to. You know her name is Tumblestrum.
Nix, does the frog also play an instrument?
I think he's a good singer, actually.
Oh, impressive. I always assumed that most frogs would croak when on the stage.
Clever. I like that.
Oh, thank you. I try.
And that's that. You guys don't have to approach her. She's there. Okay. What do you guys want to do next? Okay, there we go.
I'll listen to her. Is she going to play?
Pardon?
I said, is she going to play? I'll listen to her.
Yeah, she plays. And she's about as good as Nyx is. Nyx came in with this like 27 beautiful, rapping, violin carnival performance. And this woman plays like a very strange tune. Don't get me wrong, it's incredibly appealing to the ear, but there's something about it that's almost otherworldly. It's like nothing you've ever heard before. It's from no culture you can actually put your finger on. Same for you, Nyx, who has been to many worlds. It's strange. It's strange and beautiful, and is very appealing to the ear in a sort of way like, what's that? Where's that from? Like, what's that song from? Like, 'cause I don't even know what the style is. It's like its own genre, basically. And she just strums away happily, and some people give her coins, and she doesn't really seem to mind the coins much, but just kind of enjoys playing her performance. But it's truly a once in a lifetime kind of sound you hear here.
Interesting. I mean, Glint would definitely approach as well, I think, to give it a listen. Unfortunately, he's not musically trained.
Neither is she, but
She plays away and says, "Oh, good afternoon. Welcome. Enjoying the Witchlight Carnival? Oh, good to see you, Nyx.
How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fine. Just doing what I do, entertaining here and there, just like you."
where is that melody from?
From all over. Kind of made my own tune in here and there.
You take requests.
I can.
Do you happen to know any birthday songs? It's our friend's birthday.
Oh, sure. Which one of you is having a birthday? Okay. And she'll stop and she is going to play Happy Birthday on the lute. We just have to wait for the ads to end. She goes, now for an ad about our wonderful caravan, whatever. All right, here we go.
Also, you're not screen sharing as of yet.
Oh shit! I had this cool thing going on. I look like an idiot. There we go. She starts playing. You. Happy birthday to you. Yay.
Dream probably gives like a giant hug to Zarvold.
Nice.
I'll throw the bard a couple of gold.
She goes, oh, that's kind of you. Not necessary, but thank you. Well, not much more for me. Hope you enjoy the rest of the carnival. I better be going. And then she plays like a really strange tune, like a really suddenly exacting tune, a very like, and then she vanishes.
Yes, okay. So there are gondola swans, and there are snail races, and there is
Wasn't there a Hall of Illusions?
a Hall of Illusions, and then there's a big top, but I think that's at the end of the day, and that's where Nyx performs.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys, just to give you a little insight there, that is quite right. Nyx, you would know that there's going to be a number of events throughout the night. And in about 2 hours, there's going to be a big top extravaganza where indeed you'll be performing.
We're right here. We're not going to ride on the carousel?
Of course we're going to ride on the carousel.
I love that. And we're just be like, what do you mean we're not going to ride on the carousel?
Because I'm willing to bet that they've got actual critters on the carousel.
All right, you guys start walking over to the carousel. Hell yeah. Somebody, tell you what, Nyx, this is your show. Roll me a d6 to see what kind of carnival games you see on the way. Five. Okay. You guys come to a carnival game where you see one of the Witchlight hands is sort of standing on a stool. And you see that there is a group of very strange chickens caged. They look almost like half wyvern, half chicken, but they're still chicken size. They're very small. And the Witchlight hand, who is standing on the box, says, "Birds of a feather! How about feathers of a bird? Step right up and guess how many feathers festoon this fiendish fowl."
I'm sorry, we're trying to guess how many feathers the chickens have.
That's right, good dwarf. If you can guess how many feathers are on these cockatrices, then you indeed may earn yourself a prize.
Well, I do have 7 holes to punch.
Oh,
I'll
no
give it
punch
a
required, sir. No punch required at all.
Oh. Sure.
Well, give it a guess. You can make me a flat intelligence check if you want to try and successfully guess how many feathers are on these 3 chickens.
Intelligence. It's a 19 on the die, so plus 6, including the rock, would be a 25.
You say 25 feathers, or whatever you say. But you look at them, and there's a full hangover moment where all the Rain Man or whatever, where all the calculations are going around Glint's head, and Glint just spouts out a number, and he goes, "That's right. That's right. Holy shit, that's right. Wow. Yeah. Congratulations. You Wow, on your first try, you win. You win 2 prizes, in fact, for your first try.
I was worried I'd carry the number wrong.
No, I guess I don't know what that means, but you did great. He is going to produce. He's going to go through a bag, and he's going to whip out a wand and hand it to you. And he's going to say, "This is the wand of prestidigitation. You have 8 charges. It can't be recharged. Congratulations, sir. And for your second prize." And is going to pull out a replica unicorn that is filled with candy. It's like a little unicorn action figure, but it's like its back opens up and it's got popcorn or jellies or something sort of stuffed inside of it.
It's a unicorn Pez dispenser.
Oh, how lovely.
There you go.
Glint is just winning the carnival.
Well, I better close up shop now that the numbers kind of been shouted around. Good job, sir.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That was incredible. Congratulations. And he'll just sort of pick up his little booth and wander away. Yeah.
Would anyone like this candy? I am extremely full of sugar already.
So it was too much sugar, is what you're saying. I guess
like 60 cupcakes, whatever it was. Yeah. Yes, it was. It was entirely too much. Yeah.
70 cupcakes. All right, let's get to the carousel. Okay. A procession of wooden unicorns stands motionless on a circular wooden platform. Fairgoers clamber onto unicorns' backs, and a female centaur sets the ride in motion. Unicorns shake their manes and creak to life, cantering around the carousel to the delight of the many riders. You are going to see Nyx, your good friend, Diana Cluppington is her name. And I'm going to send a little picture of Diana to the Facebook chat, because Diana deserves a little this. Oh, FaceTime. That's Diana Cluppington. And she looks at you, Nyx, and says, hi, Nyx. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully. How are you doing today?
Oh, just running the carousel like I've been practicing. It's not too hard. Were you and your friends wanting to go on the carousel?
Absolutely. We'd love a ride.
Okay. Yeah, let me just punch your tickets. Okay. And she'll punch everybody's ticket and says, okay, hop aboard and go have a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
Understood. You guys all hop on. And as you hop on, there are 8 unicorns to ride on. They ride in pairs, and they all have a name tag on their riddles. Some of the names are legible, others are worn and indecipherable. Yeah. So, as you all hop on, I'm going to just go completely... I'll tell you what, who's pairing up? Who's pairing up? Because there's 8 of them.
I'm pairing up as Zarvolg.
All right, Zarvolg and Yvain are pairing up.
I'll
Who
go
else is
with
pairing up?
I'll go with
Beverly. Got it. Beverly and Finch. Who's next? Who's pairing up next?
I'm going. Anybody can go with me or not as they choose.
Okay. Which leaves Glint and Nyx. Who are you two paired up?
If you want to go with Ember, I might sit this one out. I think I might throw up cupcakes if I.
Understood. Well, Ember, let's go. Let's mount our steeds.
All right.
Hello.
So you guys mount your steeds and you begin to sort of clop around. So as you're clopping around and your unicorns come to life, Zarval and Yvain, your unicorns. So one of them is named Fortune, and the other one starts with a B, but the other 3 letters are sort of scratched out. And those unicorns are just going to keep clopping around. Let's see here. And they say, the one with the name that's scratched out says, "Can you guess my name?"
How many letters are scratched out?
3 letters. It starts with a B. So it goes B, letter. And the other one's name is Fortune. I'll let you noodle on that for a minute. Finch, you and Beverly go riding along. And one of you, the unicorn, will say yours name is Fall. And Beverly's has its name partially scratched out, but it's a 5-letter word. And the first 2 begin with P, R, and then blank. So Fall and PR blank. And the unicorn says, "Can you guess my name?" I wonder. And Beverly's like, no. He goes, okay. And it just kind of keeps clopping around all happily. Ember and Nyx. Nyx, I'm going to say you're sitting on one whose name is Stone. And Ember, yours reads a 4-letter word that is M blank blank S. And that one says, "Can you guess my name?"
That's cute.
All right, Zon, do you have a guess? I have a guess. It could be wrong, but I mean, I have a guess. Starts with Bravo and then has 4 letters. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I have a guess. Do we each get a guess, or do we have to guess together?
Because you each get a guess. Why not? That sounds fun. Says the unicorn as it clops around.
All right, go ahead, Evie.
I was gonna guess Bane.
Goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's wrong. You're incorrect. What about you there, Mr. Hobgoblin?"
That's a pretty good guess. I considered that one too. I'm going to guess Boone.
Wrong again. Oh, I'm so sorry. No
I think
prizes
that
for
was
you.
too.
And they keep clopping around. Unfortunately, it seems you got it wrong. Beverly looks over at you, Finch, and says, "Do you know what my horse's name is? Yours is Fall, and mine is PR blank blank blank."
I don't know. Well,
Oh, I know that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm getting it now.
I don't know.
Don't know. All right, maybe we'll come back to you oh, yeah, we'll come back to you in a second. Last is Nyx and Ember, where it's looking back at you and says, "Can you guess my name?" One is named Stone, and the other's name is M blank blank S.
Oh, I know what mine is too now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Mass.
Or
Goes,
Moss?
"Oh, I'm sorry, it is not. Nyx, you're right, but that's cheating because you work here and you know the riddle. You did a good job. Let's give you a prize anyway." And you will earn a prize because you're right. It's Moss. And the unicorn is going to sort of go into his hands, and it's going to give back to you a single application of magical face paint. As an action, you can apply face paint to yourself or another creature and receive the benefits of disguise self.
Nice.
Or it'll last for an hour until the recipient chooses to end it. So basically, you get like a disguise self, but it is in the form of a face paint. And with that, the ride comes to last, but we'll come back to you for a second, Finch. It says, well, the ride's almost over. You know what my name is? Goes, no, I guess that's that then. And sort of clocks to a halt, and they all bray. And with that, the carousel is complete.
How was the ride, friends?
Circular.
Oh, it looked like that from the outside. I'm glad the geometry held true there.
So the illusion tent, perhaps?
Oh, certainly.
Right.
Anything the basket girl wants.
All right, the Hall of Illusions. You guys make your way across the way. As you do so, you are going to see. There's a couple of. Let's see, where are you? There we go. As you're going by, there's a stall with a witchlight hand, some like 8-year-old human who's going, pixie tarts, anyone want pixie tarts over here? Very yummy. And they're like little powdered candies in little cupcakes. They're selling out for a punch ticket.
Oh, hell yes.
All right, you punch your ticket, and you get a snack. You get yourself a little pixie tart, and you can munch that up, and it's pretty good. It's like a little, like I said, it's a little powdered candy in a little cup, and you just kind of munch on it as you go. At that point, you all get to the Hall of Illusions, where you see a wooden mannequin of a grinning, raven-haired young woman in witch's attire, and a green flowering cape hovering inside a glass cabinet. At the top of the cabinet, the sign reads, Tasha the Wizard, known for her hideous laughter. A halfling couple holding hands approaches the glass cabinet, and one of the halflings is wearing butterfly face paint. As he drops to one knee and pulls out a small box from his pocket, his sweetheart bursts into laughter and begins to roll on the ground. The halfling in face paint begins sobbing and darts into the nearby tent without getting his ticket punched. What do you guys do?
Glenn will approach the mannequin, just out of curiosity.
All right, you approach up to the mannequin. Maybe a wisdom saving throw.
Sure. Oh, thank God I'm proficient in those. It's gonna be a 20 total, not natural.
You feel like a little bubbly feeling inside of you. It's kind of making you sort of like wanting to like giggle, but you suppress the feeling as you approach the mannequin.
And these are the signs said a witch known for her hideous laughter. Like, is it a?
It says very specifically. It says Tasha the Wizard, known for her hideous laughter. You can make a history check if you want to see, you know who this person is.
Yeah, sure. What does Glint know about Miss Tasha? It's a 26 on the history.
You recall that Tasha is one of the names reputedly used by Igwil the Witch Queen, a legendary archmage that you have read about in your studies, who is the creator of many spells, such as Tasha's hideous laughter, Tasha's otherworldly guise, and many, many more spells. Very famous wizard.
Very cool. Huh. And this is like on the entryway leading into the Hall of Illusions.
That's right.
Is the lady still like stuck in the spell on the ground?
She's laying on the ground going. She's like laughing uncontrollably.
Are you okay down there? Do you need help?
She's like, just shaking her head.
Okay, enjoy yourself. And
She's
Glint will
like,
just head.
she's like laughing. Like, it's like, no, wait, please come back.
Oh.
You said, do you need help? And she like started nodding through her laugh.
Oh, right. Sorry, I
I
missed
thought
the
you were just
nod.
being funny. I thought you were just being a dick, honestly. All right, have fun, bitch.
Just more just as terrible insight. Glint will like walk back and then I guess just tap her with dispel magic.
And she kind of, comes out of it. And she is going to say, she's going to say, "Oh no, my Reuben! I don't know what came over me. I just started laughing madly, and he proposed to me, right? And I don't know what happened."
Oh, terrible luck. That was the mannequin, I think. You may want to. He ran into the Hall of Illusions.
Oh, this is terrible. Could you do me a great favor and go find my Reuben for me and talk him down?
Oh, certainly.
Oh, Moonweaver bless you, sir. Moonweaver bless you. Thank you.
Was Reuben a halfling? Is that correct? Am I remembering correctly?
That's a halfling, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm off to find a small man. And Glint heads into the tent.
You go to head to the tent, and you are going to see that there is this like mime outside. He's like, he's a human, and he's like in this like, he's like a super spindly, thin human. He's like sort of like miming around and like doing all kinds of shit. And you're like, oh, you're annoying. You know, Nix, that this is Candlefoot the Mime. He's been going through it lately. He's got some problems right now. Here around the carnival, there's a bit of a drama going between him and another performer around here, where they have a sort of like will they won't they relationship, and he's kind of depressed lately. But he like puts his hand out to take your ticket, Glint.
Yeah, we'll pass it over.
He'll punch it and hand it back to you.
Hmm.
He sort of waves at you, Nix, happily.
Hello, Candlefoot.
And he just kind of taps on you, Glint, and starts doing charade. He'll like drop down to his knees and kind of like flail his arms like the halfling and sort of run around in a circle and jump back up and point at you and then point at the tent. And yeah.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. He seemed a little beside himself. And in Glint goes.
All right, in you go. All right, Glint, you gotta go try and find yourself a halfling.
Yeah.
Make me a perception check to see if you can
Okay.
track down Reuben.
Oh boy. That's a 14.
14, you go walking around for a minute, you find yourself bumping into a couple mirrors here and there, a mirror there, a mirror there, as you find yourself definitely in like a mirror maze. And you're just kind of trying to wander around, and you bump into here, bump into there. At one point, you have like a weird moment where you like look into one of the mirrors and you think you see like a woman who looks vaguely like the mannequin outside, and then you kind of like look a second time and she's gone. You're like, that was weird. You find yourself a little lost in the maze.
Reuben, are you in here?
No response.
I've been led to believe you're having something of a bad time. If you want to talk about it,
No response again for some reason.
yeah. And Glint's kind of bumbling around in the tent.
Make me another perception check if you want to try and find your way. Find your way.
Oh, that's better. That's a 19 total.
19, there you go. You come around a corner and you see indeed the small halfling Reuben, sort of staring into a mirror toward the back of the hall. Yeah, you kind of just find him just kind of almost hypnotically staring into this one mirror.
Hmm. Are you all right there, friend?
Huh. And he turns and sort of like snapped out of it and turns and looks at you and goes, "Oh, I'm well, no, not really. You probably saw outside. I proposed to me beloved Ween, and she laughed in my face. She did.
Oh, I don't
I'm
think it was.
heartbroken. I'll be honest, sir.
I don't think it was intentional. The little sign you were next to outside had some sort of enchantment on it. It was casting, I think, some sort of spell. It almost got
Spell,
me.
you say?
Hmm.
What kind of spell?
I believe it caused people to collapse into fits of hysterical laughter.
Maybe persuasion check. See if Ruben believes you. You're just trying to mend his broken heart with lies.
A flat d20. Ooh, that's a 4.
He goes, "Oh, sir, you're kind to say so, and trying to defend a young lady, but she clearly doesn't want me."
Well, she is outside if you want to speak with her. Don't really, sorry, I don't really do this sort of thing. Not much my wheelhouse or my forte, but if you do want to speak with her, I think she's still out there, but I got terribly turned around just trying to find you, so honestly, I don't even know which way the exit is.
Maybe one last persuasion check to see if you can like convince him to basically help you out, kind of like trick him to come out and see his beloved.
That's still just a 9.
A 9. He goes, "Well, good luck to you, sir. I hope everything goes well with your journeys and such. I'll just stay here while I."
Would you like this candy?
He looks at the candy, and he looks at you with these sort of like kind of broken, defeated eyes that are welling up. And he's like, I just want to be alone.
Honestly, good luck to you. Sounds rough.
It is rough. I loved her with my whole heart. Starts crying.
Do you want to talk about it, or
Just leave me alone. Just leave me to my woes.
And Glint is like extremely awkwardly just like shuffle on through the maze.
Maybe a perception check, see if you can find your way back up.
I almost hope he goes full circle and just comes back to this guy. Oh, that's a 4.
Funny enough, you spend another like 4 minutes wandering through the maze, and you come back to the very spot where Ruben once was, and he's no longer there. And you're like, oh, maybe he decided to leave and go back, and that's great. But as you make me another perception check.
13.
13. You spend another, like, maybe another one. Let's see how long it takes for you to get out.
10 total.
Maybe another one. Keep rolling until you get a 15. Let me know what you get.
It's another 10. That's another 10. That's a 17.
There you go. It takes about 5 minutes, and Glint's gone for maybe 10 minutes, but eventually Glint comes out, and to your maybe awkward dissatisfaction, you see the halfling woman like looking at you with expectant eyes, and apparently Ruben has not exited the place.
I did find him and speak to him. He didn't quite believe me, I think, but honestly, I thought that he was already out of here. I got terribly turned around in there.
Oh, my poor Ruben, what have I done? I was just gonna sort of wilt a little bit and kind of wander away sadly.
I'm really bad at this.
Well,
And Glint's
how
gonna
was
go
that
find
distraction? At this point, on the 4th hour, Nyx, you know what time it is. It's time for the Big Top Extravaganza. As the sun is not quite set, maybe an hour or two off from setting, you know it's time for the Big Top Extravaganza.
Showtime.
Showtime. You might lead the party there. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Right this way.
Incredible. You guys find your way to the Big Top. Okay, all of you begin to fill into the Big Top and prepare for the show, taking your seats around. Nyx, you sort of wander off to go prepare for your performance. And eventually, everything goes nice and quiet. The light dims and a hush falls over the crowd. Seconds later, a spotlight illuminates a lithe elven figure sitting in a silver hoop, suspended above the center ring by silky ropes. The elf wears a dazzling suit of diamond-pane mirrors and a pair of butterfly wings. His scepter is topped with a spinning vase. Welcome, one and all, to this evening's extravaganza! I am Mr. Light. Prepare to be delighted! And then there's a tsh, and once more the music begins. An extravaganza begins involving several of the carnival's star performances and attractions. Mr. Light, serving as the ringmaster, begins to walk around with his wand, and let's see. And over the course of the next little while, you're going to see a rather burly bugbear come in and start picking up really massively heavy objects, the likes of which that maybe even Finch couldn't pick up. Just like a giant barbell where it says 1,000 pounds on either side. And you kind of, and everyone's like, you see him do that. You see a beautiful mermaid appear within a cockle shell, much like Aphrodite, and just begins to serenade the audience from the clamshell's bathing pool, in a just a mesmerizing voice. You see the mime from the illusion tent sort of come in and sort of follow Mr. Light, sort of doing miming things and entertaining children who all laugh and applaud. Let's see. You also see fairy dragons, these dragons that are only small-sized creatures but are prismatic in pinks and blues and yellows, come in and start dazzling the crowd with blasts of magical energy. You see trapeze begin to synchronize their acts and dazzling performances, synchronizingly flying as a troupe of acrobats alongside all of the many fairy dragons. Clowns and fire breathers parade around. At the epicenter, Nyx, where are you performing to dazzle as the main spectacle for this big extravaganza? What are you doing? Are you doing your violin or maybe something else?
So Nyx is performing a comedic sleight of hand show, as it were. They're humming a silly tune while pulling coins out and making them disappear and reappear in strange places. Maybe they pull a coin out and make it disappear and they cough it out. Pulls a flower from their ear kind of thing. And that sort of fun.
Incredible. Is your dexterity or your charisma higher? Which one is the better stat for you? I imagine charisma, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Why don't you make me a performance check to
Charisma.
see how this... Got it. Yeah, make me a performance check, and we'll see how well your dazzling act of, comedic sleight of hands go.
Uh, 20 plus 11 is 31.
31, indeed. The star performer where there's a bugbear lifting enormously heavy weights, there's a a troop of fairy fires and fire breathers and a complete spectacle. But in the middle, with the spotlight, Nyx appears, maybe even like in a new sort of carnival-esque outfit costume, and begins performing these miraculous tricks. Like more than just like little coin things, you know, like you're doing like what's his name? Who's the guy who like shows up at people's houses and David, his name's like David something.
This angel? No.
Copperfield.
David Copperfield.
Blaine?
He's like a more modern guy. What's his name? Shit.
Blaine,
David-
David Blaine.
Blaine.
David Blaine.
Yeah.
There it is. Thank you. I was thinking David Blaine. But like David Blaine is just doing like insane shit that like just shouldn't be possible. Where like, yeah, you're like pulling like streamers out of your mouth and then like pulling out the end and then like pulling more out from your sleeve and sort of twirling them around you in like a magical illusory dance. And yeah, maybe you like go up and start working the crowd with the kids and like pulling a coin out from his ear, making it vanish, and then like telling him to check his pocket, and he's like, holy crap, and let him keep it. You run over to someone else, and you like pull out like, maybe you sleight of hand him and like picked out something of his and like hand it back to him, and you just work the crowd. People are like losing their shit. Nyx, you're just like the star performer. There's a lot going on here, but the whole eyes are on you. Near the end of the show, Mr. Light sort of like comes up next to you, Nyx, and I should show you guys what Mr. Light looks like, because you've seen Mr. Finch. Mr. Light is quite the polar opposite of the other carnival. Here. Video. Pictures coming at you in the Facebook chat. Meant to make the hand up, but I'm always late. So that's Mr. Light. Sort of comes up next to you, Nyx, and he says, and is there anybody here who would like to come and perform their own act for the crowd to prove if they can stand next to the great Nyx the Magnificent? The crowd looks a little too intimidated by Nyx's skill and performance and doesn't really want to try and follow that. But is there anything from you guys that you might want to try before?
Yeah,
No, sir.
sure.
Hey, Ember stands up, and everyone's sort of like, let's hear it for a brave volunteer. And everyone lets out a great applause. And Ember, you come down into the middle of the extravaganza, and he simply gestures to you and allows you to do whatever it is you intend to do. So tell us, what does the crowd see?
Ember is going to produce flame.
Yep.
And then I'm going to control the flame into little dancing unicorns and what have you. And then I'm going to juggle them.
Hey, all right, you start juggling like animal flames. Make me a performance check.
It's not that good. 11.
11. You start doing it. Unfortunately, your creatures are a little too small for the crowd to like see the nuance of the actual animals, and you kind of like juggle them around. Generally, the crowd is kind of like, it's like it's a little deflated, but it's not like a complete nothing. But it certainly didn't wow maybe as much as you were hoping to. But you get like a generous applause nonetheless. And he goes, thank you, good contestant, thank you, well done, excellent fire performances. Is there anybody else in the crowd who would like to make a performance before we end our extravaganza? No one? No one at all? If that's the case, Nyx, the Magnificent, why don't you play us off? And everyone sort of lets out another applause, and a number of them will come over and bring your instruments to you, and you can sort of finish them off with a great carnival song if you'd like. Make me one final performance check to end the extravaganza this evening.
$13 plus 11 is 24.
24, you come in and begin like a low violin. And then you go into like a raucous sort of like fiddle dance, and everyone's sort of like, yeah, let's have an applause. And at the end of your performance, you're like doing these like very fast key notes off to the end, really showing off the skill of your performance. You sort of like hit that last note with your bow, the string on your bow snaps, and the fairy dragons breathe a flare of almost firework-like dragon breath in the background, and you let off a deep, miraculous bow, and everyone lets out a big applause of excitement. And with that, the Witchlight Carnival is nearly complete, and that was certainly the big talk near the end of the show. Well done. You would basically hear that, like, 1 hour till it closes. Get done what you wish to get done before leaving. And with that mix, you can go backstage and change, and the party knows that you guys have 1 hour left to do whatever you want around the Witchlight Carnival before leaving and immersing yourself in the true Moonweaver ceremony. Yes, Janine.
How much time is there between, say, now and when we would be expected in the area?
Like 2 or 3 hours. The sun isn't quite gone down yet, but it's getting close. This is the shortest day of the year, so there's only like 6 hours of daylight today. So you were told to be there by the time the sun goes down. So you've got another like 2 hours to play with before you need to be there.
Time to go to the artists' quarter, because you said there were things going on in town. Did I
there are
understand
things
that
going on.
correctly?
Yeah. So there will be enough time for you to do like an hour in. If you guys wanted to do any last things here, who else would I know a little bit? If you guys want to do any last things here in the Witchlight Carnival, you got an hour to do that, and then you guys could like go hang out around town, do some things for one last hour before you get to the area. So, yeah. But yeah, as you report outside the big top. Oh, go ahead, Zarbo, please.
I want to go see these snail races.
Let's do the snail races. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. You all file outside of the tent, and quick as can be, Nick's rapid costume change, you will return to the party at the end of the extravaganza. And may indeed begin to start walking in that direction.
Off we go to the snail races.
Nick, you're stupendous. And Yvain just gives you like this giant hug from out of nowhere. You're amazing.
I'm flattered. Thank you so much.
It really was pretty entertaining.
I'm so glad I could entertain.
Incredible. As you guys are walking towards the snail races on the other side, you're going to see a number of spectacles, a little fairy town, and before you get to the snail races, you're going to see 2 carnival events in the small stalls. One of which is called the Almirage Ring Toss. You see that it's very much like a ring toss thing, but there's a single Almirage sitting there with a little puff of purple smoke around him. And you hear the carnival hand say, "This Almirage is no mirage. Adorn its horn with 2 or 3 rings to win a prize." And on the other side of the street, you see there is... Oh God, where is it? Oh God. Here it is. You see there's like a little like mini like almost boxing ring where you see this like strangely buff goblin who says, "Strong folks, test your mettle in goblin wrestling."
Oh,
Those are the 2 events you'll see on the way.
I want to wrestle that goblin.
You can punch your ticket, charge over, and very quickly says, "All right, bring it on." He kind of like goes around the ring with you a little bit. Make me a athletics check to see if you can pin the goblin.
All right, I got a 10 plus 5, but since it's the perfect opportunity, I will use my saving face to make it a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay, you do a dirty 20. You pin the first guy easily. You jump on top of him, you're like, can I steal the one? And he's like, as he's under you, and he's like trying to get away. And in that moment, only Zarvo doesn't see this, all of you see this. You see climbing on the ropes on the back, sort of standing up to the top, like ready to do like some like WWE like suplex shit. You see another goblin sort of gets up and goes, "Ah!" And Zarvok can turn around and you see it go and like jump on top of you. Make me one more athletics check to see if you can beat the second goblin and win the event.
Oh, you dirty little bastards. Okay, here we go.
Oh no, that's an 11.
Well, lucky for you, goblins have a -1 to strength. So you grab both of them and you manage to wrestle them to the ground and pin them tight. And they're like, ah, okay, Uncle. And you presumably let them go, and they'll both stand beside you and they'll raise your hands as you are the wrestling champion. Applause will be let off from those passerbyers who watched the daring event. And you, sir, are a winner. Let's see what you win. Very cool. He says, "This is for you," and he presents to you what looks to be like a glove puppet in the shape of a wizard. He says, "Fear not, it is a magical puppet. As an action, you can move the puppet's arms and cast minor illusion 3 times before the puppet disappears."
Oh,
See a little
interesting.
wizardy hand puppet. You can cast
So
minor
wizard
illusion
hand
3
puppet.
times.
All right.
Yep. So that's your inventory. You're a winner. Any interest in the Mirage ring toss for anybody?
I'm terrible at it, but I'm gonna try it. Like,
All right.
I've got no decks, but we're gonna do it because it sounds like fun.
All right.
I was gonna do it, but I had to wrestle goblins.
Yeah, the rest of it. Absolutely. You would notice as you approach this is not a true Mirage. This is a wood statue of an Mirage, but has indeed like what looks to be like a gold horn sticking out of its head. And you see it begins to teleport in purple puffs of smoke, and you're like,
This is going to be very, very difficult.
make me a dexterity check. Just a flat
It's
dexterity
okay.
check.
It's my birthday. That's an 11.
An 11. You toss it, and you're like, and then it teleports before you can. The ring can catch its horn.
It's okay.
Another shot.
It's a 3.
A 3. You toss it, and it ding, 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 misses, unfortunately. But you get 3 tosses.
Hey, she's just having fun doing it. Like, she knows she's bad at this shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a 9.
And then you toss it again, and misses, and he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry, miss. I'm very sorry indeed. For another punch, you can get another 3 rolls."
No, that's okay. I just wanted to have fun with it. Thank you.
All right, good day. Step right up. And he kind of returns back to getting everybody happy. He's looking at you like this.
Oh, come on. I'm really bad at that. Ask Zarvog. Zarvog will win you something. He's really good at that sort of thing.
Goes, and he just looks a little jealous.
Zarvog!
What?
Would you come win this for me? I'm terrible at it, but happy pouting.
Oh, he wants to win it? All right, come here, little guy.
Happy like angrily like stomps his foot. And like sort of like looks at you resiliently, like he like stands between you and the game. Looks at you like almost jealously.
Oh, I'm not sure that's what he wants. I think he's mad that you were playing with other Mirage.
It's not real though.
Mirage, or excuse me, Happy looks at you and with his arms still folded, starts like hopping towards the snails on his back legs.
I mean, maybe that it's
No,
perhaps that it was a false one makes it worse for Happy.
no, I'm so sorry. Like she goes
You
chasing
sold him out for a pale imitation.
apologizing. Awkward, like I'm so sorry. No, I didn't mean. I'm so sorry. Oh, you're back. Yes, sir.
He means like after Happy. But luckily enough, you guys get to the snail races, which I'm sure will distract Happy enough to forget your betrayal. But anyway, you guys
In case anyone was wondering who wore the pants in that
Right.
family.
All right, you guys get to the snail races. The grandstands next to the race course are filled with cheering fairgoers, ringing bells, swinging rattles around, and waving flags. And on the starting line, 8 giant snails are having their shells scrubbed by pixies. Above the circular course, a wooden gantry hangs from the branches of a central tree, where 2 goblins officiate the proceedings. These are big snails. They're large as a horse. And each one seems to be crewed by 3 different pixies. Incredible. And you hear the officiates essentially saying, "Fast-paced snail sporting! Participate and bet or join in the races yourself. Would you like to be a snail racer? Step right up." And they begin to sort of prepare. So what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to race some snails?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'll race a snail.
Yes, we're racing
Yeah.
snails. We're all
Let's do
about
it.
it. Let's
All
do it.
right. Thankfully, there are 8 snails, and there are 7 of you, unless Happy's getting his own snail.
Happy wants to
Fen.
have his own snail?
Happy looks at you and goes,
All right, that's fine. I'll take it out of my punch.
"Got it." Okay. Whoever wants the first snail, whoever's the first one to step up, may roll a d8 and learn which snail is going to be their snail.
Happy gets the first roll,
I think
Okay.
that's fair. That's fair.
and it was a 2.
Happy bounces over to the blue team and to the big snail that's known as Nimblefoot. And they start telling Happy how it works and setting up Happy, and they kind of look at you, but Happy seems to be intelligent. They're like, "All right, let's see how this goes." They'll start working with it. You punch the ticket, so they'll do it. Who is next?
I'll go.
All right, roll me a d8 to see what snail you claim. Or you can just pick a random color, and that would also.
How about number 7?
Number 7, you go over to the red team, and you are going to make your way over to the snail known as Breakneck. And that's your snail. Whoever else can either roll me a d6 or tell me a color that hasn't already been picked.
Give it a shot. D6.
Yep, with d6.
That is a 3.
A 3, you go over to the purple team, and you will go to the snail known as High Road. All right, I need another d6.
Okay. 6.
A d6. Oh, 6, yes. You go over to the snail known as Wizzy on the orange team. Now I need a
4.
d4. Yep.
4.
4 from you. It's gonna
Yeah,
be 1. I give you 2. Oh, it's gonna be the last one. You go to the black team, quite fittingly. And your snail is gonna be known as Queen's Majesty. We got Nyx. Why don't you give me a roll? And I think Zarbold needs to as well. So you two give me some d4s.
Oh, wrong one. I did D6 on accident. We'll do D4. I got a 2.
A 2. You walk over to the green team, and you will take the snail known as Quickleaf. And Zarbold, you're going to go to the yellow team and go to the snail known as Flower Flash.
Flower Flash.
And Beverly will go to the pink team and claim the snail known as Shelly Moo. And with that, your snails have been claimed, and the races can begin. You each will have basically a pit crew of 3 pixies who are like rubbing your shoulders and scrubbing down the snail. And they're like, "Okay, you got this. All right, all you got to do is..." And they start like giving you advice and everything. All right, let's go over the rules. Every snail needs a jockey, and that is you guys. Okay, good thing I've got this notepad. All right. Snail stat blocks out. Bear with me. This is going to be some. It's going to be a little interesting.
I would have never thought snail races were so exciting, but I'm like so into this.
All right, how this begins is in rounds. Once the race begins, the snails move along the track at remarkable speed, each one covering 80 feet per round by itself. Without riders, this is an even match, but you are jockeys, and so you have some options. Initiative rolls are unnecessary, as this is just going to be a matter of feet. Once around, each jockey makes a DC 12 animal handling check. On a successful check, your snail will move a little bit faster, depending on how well you roll past that DC. And if you don't fail it, you might go a little bit slower. And that's generally how it works. So, with that, and no further ado, let's hop to it. So, you guys all step up to the line. Oh boy, I need to write all your names down. Happy, Noble, Everly, Amber, Nix, Glint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm missing a name, which is Finch. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so with that, I say, okay, jockeys are set up, ready for the races. Final race of the day. On your marks, get set, slur. And there's a huge fireworks shot goes off, and you're off to the races. Everybody make the animal handling checks. I need you to roll for happy as well, you may not forget. Oh God. Beverly does not start well. I was like, what the fuck?
I got a 5.
Oh no. Okay, so that's gonna be Beverly's going to do 60. You got a 5, Nix. You go 60 feet this round as you're having a little trouble keeping your snail going the right direction. Who else?
I also got a 5.
Okay, maybe, I'll go around instead. That was a lot of numbers. Zarvolg, how'd you do?
I got a 6.
A 6. You go 60 feet. You're having trouble getting used to the snail. Ember.
5.
60 feet is what? Every single person's like, what the fuck? How did Happy do, Yvain?
Yvain and Happy each got 15.
15. Okay. Not bad. You guys are going to get a little extra 10-foot boost, and you two are going to be doing 90 feet. You go riding off, and Happy's looking off of his snail at you, and he's like determined to win. As you guys go speeding off, Glint, how'd you do?
19.
19, and then snailing by at tremendous speeds, Glint comes by at 100 feet and takes the lead. Finch?
18.
Similarly, Finch goes flying by Yvain and Happy, and it's neck and neck for Glint and Finch. Incredible. That was the first round. Let's do it again. Everybody roll animal handling checks. Oh my God, Glint was like, I'm ready for this carnival. Okay, let me see here.
As Finch like comes up neck and neck, Glint's gonna reach over and grab their shades to put them on.
That's very funny. Okay, maybe a line here. Beverly hits 130 feet. How does Happy do?
So Happy gets a 15 again.
Okay, hang on. Okay, so Happy is going to get 70 feet and hit 160. Very good. How does Yvain do?
So Yvain gets a natural 20 for 28.
Oh wow.
Shit. Natural 20 for 28. You were going to get an extra 20 feet, so you're going to get 100 feet this round. So you're going to be at 190. I think I did Happy's wrong. Yeah, Happy's at 1. Okay, cool. Sarvolg, how'd you do?
I got an 11.
An 11. That is unfortunately a failure. You're going to subtract 10 feet. So you're only going to make it 70 this round. So you're going to do 130 feet like Beverly. You're neck and neck with Beverly. Yvain, you sort of are getting past Happy, and Happy's like, Ember, what do you do?
18.
18, very good. That's going to be considered a miraculous success. You'll get 100 feet. You're at 160. You speed past the competition. You're just a little behind Happy and Yvain. Nyx, how'd you do?
11.
11 is a failure, unfortunately. That's going to be 70 feet for you, so you are going to make it 130 feet. You're neck and neck with Zarvolg and Beverly. Last but not... Oh, Glint, how'd you do?
That is also a natural 20, but for a 21.
So now you have hit 200 feet. You are, Yvain's doing pretty good, and is kind of right behind you. But you are still in the lead. She's catching up. She's gaining on you, but you're still in the lead. Lastly, Finch, how'd you do?
19.
19. Finch actually comes healing out neck and neck with Glint. It is a Finch-Glint battle for the finish line here. You're not quite halfway there yet, but you probably will be this next round. Animal handling checks, please.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Handling.
Ooh, Beverly comes in. Riding hot. She's going to get 100 feet, so she makes it to 230. Okay, how does Happy do, Yvain?
Happy gets a 17 this round.
Oh, wow.
17, that is going to be 100 feet to Happy. Heals forward to 280 feet. How did Yvain do?
Yvain, 16 plus 8, 24.
24, you get that 100 feet too, and you peel off for 300 feet. Fantastic. How did Zarvolg do?
16.
16 is pretty dang good. You're going to get 90 feet out of this one. You make it to 220 feet. You are just a little behind Beverly now. Ember, how'd you do?
12.
12. That is exactly a success. So that's going to be 80 feet to you. You are going to make it to 240 feet. You are ahead of Zarvolg and Beverly. How are you doing, Yvain? Oh, I just said you, didn't I?
Yeah.
You're at 300. I just put your name in the wrong spot. Glint, how are you doing?
16.
What? You didn't? What do you mean you didn't roll a nat 20? 16. Okay, you are at 290 feet. Yvain takes the lead from you, Glint. Nyx, how did you do?
21.
21 is excellent. That's going to be
Catching up.
200.
Catching up.
You got some catching up to do, but you're at 230 now, which is very, very good. Finch?
17.
17, that is considered a resounding success. You're at 300 feet as well. I'm not understanding. Must have made... Oh, I did make a mistake. Yvain is not quite up to snuff with Finch yet. I got a little excited, I guess, with my maths. But Yvain, you are right behind Finch, who is very clearly in the lead at this point. Yeah.
Before we make the next roll, may I roll my Cosmic Omen because I haven't done it for the day?
You may.
Holy shit, it's actually real. That never happens. It's always the opposite. Okay, thank you.
No problem. That's great.
Never
All right.
happens.
You guys are certainly mostly met the halfway point at this point, but there's still time to turn it around. Everyone go ahead and roll me another round of animal handling.
Oops.
Ooh, Beverly rolls really good and is going to get the full 100 feet. She's at 330 now. Okay, what do we got from Happy?
18. Damn, this bunny can ride.
Happy is on a quest for excellence, and is at 380 feet now. How did you do, Yvain?
I got another nat 20 for 28.
Another nat 20. You are at 490 feet. Incredible. Let's see. Zarvolg, how'd you do?
8.
8. Oh, that's going to be 60 feet to Zarvolg. So Zarvolg, you're at 280 feet. Definitely fallen behind. Ember, how'd you do?
16.
16 is very good. You're going to get a plus 10 feet, so you move 90 feet forward. That is going to be 330 you're at. You're neck and neck with Beverly. That's Nyx. How'd you do, Nyx?
A whole 6.
Oh,
A whole 6. That is only going to be 60 feet, I'm afraid to say. So you are going to make it to 290 feet. You're definitely falling... Oh, sorry. 290 feet. I definitely fallen behind at this point. Everyone's sort of peeled off ahead of you. You're like, ah, man. Glint, how'd you do?
19.
19 is very good. It's going to be considered a lot of extra feet. It's considered 100 feet. So you make it to 390 at this point, which is very, very good.
And you said Yvain was at like 490? Is that correct?
No, 390. I got my math wrong. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, wow, she really just did half the course in one shot. That was impressive. No, I think I gave her 200 points instead of, so you're at 390. My apologies. Finch, how you doing?
18.
18 is very good. You're going to get 100 feet as well. Jesus, Finch is a monster. Finch is just unrelenting. I imagine at the start of the round went to the snail and is like, Queen's Majesty, we must win this for the glory of Bahamut.
Your honor.
The day of challenging is upon us. We will not fail. And the snail is like, or Bahamut. And Finch and the snail have an understanding, and they're like riding down there. They're at 400 feet. Yvain, close behind, neck and neck with Glint, close behind Finch, who will not relent that lead.
I do like the imagery of like the flag and like the jousting post and stuff, just like overly prepared for no reason.
Absolutely.
War on the mind.
Happy is right behind Glint. Go ahead.
If it wasn't for the fact that it's Finch and Bahamut, I would say, it's not fair to summon the celestial steed that's the giant snail.
Correct. It's my fine steed now. I don't care that that's not an option.
If you want,
No,
you
can
can have
we
a
do that
celestial
because
giant
it's amazing?
snail.
So Finch in that dread armor, right? So it's all this chitin armor and the dread helm riding an electric snail.
With the hammer and the.
As long as you summon it as a fae, I don't have any problems. You can have a giant snail now. as a steed, if you wish, if you really want. Okay.
Movement speed though. Can you just picture me trying to do that and use it in battle though?
Yes. Yes.
Kind of.
I can picture us coming up to this attraction to begin with, and we're all kind of goofing around and bumping shoulders and knocking into each other. And we get up there to the snails, and Finch like starts putting together the pole for like a standard for like an official. Like an official joust.
And everyone just like turns slowly, like
riding around on the
snapping the pole into place.
Like, you just
to
relax
slap
for
someone
once.
with.
All of a sudden, their
Oh
steed,
my god.
their snail actually has a gate.
Right?
The snail is like, somehow got a gate. It's like doing the wave as it goes. And Finch goes up to the crowd and is like, I give you my favor, good lady. And it's like, what? Off the end of your...
So it's like, can't you just be normal?
Finch full Darth Vader helm, black armor's like riding, not even like, to be clear, not even like bouncing, just like sliding down in a complete straight line on snailback, completely sliding. Okay, the finish line is in front of you guys. Some of you might pass it this round. Let's find out who wins. Let's get a last round of checks going.
Oh my god, I can't breathe.
Beverly comes up at 430. That's incredible. How does Happy and Yvain do?
So Happy gets another 17, and Yvain gets 15 plus 8. Is that 23?
23. Understood. So Happy hits 480. Yvain, that's 490. I'm gonna save the neck and neck stuff because some people might be crossing the finish line at this point. Zarvolg, how do you do?
Yeah, I got a natty 20 for a 23 on that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Finishing
Nice.
strong.
Finishing strong with 380. Very nice. Ember.
5.
A big 5. Ember's like, and kind of slows down a little bit, unfortunately. So that's going to be, let's see here. So that would have been 60 feet. So you're going to go to 390. You pass Zarvolg, which is great. That brings us to Nyx. Nyx, what'd you get?
6.
6. Oh, God. You and your snail are just not getting along. The snail's like, Nix, you promised me marshmallows and never delivered. I'm going to make you lose this race and embarrass you in front of your friends as payment. The most vindictive, swiftly, the most vindictive snail in the Feywild.
Just like elephants,
Glint, how'd you
they
do?
never forget. Choking at the finish line, I roll an 8.
Oh, an 8. You're going to only do the 60 feet. You only make it to 450 as you do indeed choke at the finish line. Finch and a guard.
Okay, so I did roll a nat 20
Yeah.
with a -1 animal handling, so a 19.
You'll still get the 100 feet. Finch with a peerless riding skill, not even a moment's hesitation, sprints their snail across the finish line with decisive victory, full tunnel visions with Queen's Majesty, no regard for what anyone else is doing, just riding perfectly like they were trained to do.
As the god rays come off of Finch with like the natty 20, can Glint just actually full wipe out on the snail in the background?
Yes, you
Just tumble off
I like the idea of wiping out on a snail, which in real life isn't that fast. So like we're doing 80
What
feet
is the speed
around
on
here. We're doing 60 to 100 feet these rounds, but like I imagine it's like in your head. So everyone's watching like, yay, you guys are going like across the racetrack.
Just like goes into
It's
its
just
shell
like-
and starts rolling a little bit.
I'm picturing Glint actually just having the saddle like just slowly slide off of the side.
Oh no! So
no.
Glint, at the end, you like look over at Finch, and Finch doesn't look back at you because Finch is not thinking about you right now. It's not about you. The light of Bahamut sort of blinds her, or maybe it was just the setting sun. But you're like,
It's just a light
like
cantrip.
tumble off the back. And if you've ever seen like the bloopers from Monsters Inc., it's like that, where like suddenly there's a huge snail crash in the road. As Glint snail's like, whoa, and like falls over itself. Zarble hits into it, Yvain. Happy like bounces through the air off of the crashing snail and goes for the finish line, but lands way too short, just like lands in the mess anyway. It's a complete, the comments are like, and they're all down, and they're all down. It's a complete crash. The snails are dead. Everything. Only Queen's Majesty lives. And everyone's like, woo! And you guys are just in a huge snail traffic.
Oh, the humanity!
Finch has no idea what's
Oh
going on.
my god!
I'm picturing Finch just like turning around at the finish line and seeing everybody behind them and being like,
Yeah, you turn around, you're like, yes! And you turn around, you're like, oh shit. We got a little too competitive in the end there. I will say though, if Glint crashes, that still does mean that Yvain and Happy do finish the race. Yvain in second, Happy in third, Glint wipes out, and then everybody else just wipes out.
Oh yeah, excellent, perfect.
Yeah. And then and for some reason, as it always is in like the races, like we immediately cut to the podium where Finch, you're on the top of like a champagne bottle that pops off, and you're like, it's like,
I'm like, where did you get that from?
yeah, they like give it to you, and like Happy and Yvain. Happy's like
Biting the
and
metal,
pops it
holding
off,
it up.
gets sprayed in the head, goes flying off, and then you guys are just doing the champagne thing. Everyone else is like on stretchers.
Bandage wrapped around your head.
I don't care whether it actually happened or not. In my head, Glint wrecked because Finch ran him into the rails.
Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
perfect.
The last moment, Finch
Mercy.
just got the lance and just like sees Glint riding up and just kind of like tips it into the ground and kind of wing. And you're like, no, smash.
And the mental image though of the sliding is what's really getting you with this.
Yeah, there's no like traumatic like
Yeah.
bouncing. It's just like a sleigh.
Yeah, stepping on the mounted equivalent of an escalator.
The snail is like drifting.
Yeah, you know the airport escalators that just go straight across the floor? That's what you guys are doing. You're just across perfectly straight.
Glint's snail spun out on the track.
Yeah, it's like all the snail juice. It's like spun out. Glint goes flying into the stands.
Is Beverly watching all of this? Where is she?
Beverly raced too. Beverly's in the trash. You're like, where's Beverly? And Beverly's like underneath the snail. You guys like lift the snail shell off Beverly, and she's just like imprinted in the ground. She's like, this carnival sucks.
All right. Worst day ever.
Oh, this is the best. Oh my god. All right, so I have an hour to get to the artist district before I have to be in the Airy district.
Yeah, we will say that you guys raced so miraculously swiftly, or should I say Finch did, that we'll say that it all took a half an hour. You got nothing. So with that, you guys walk out of Witchlight Carnival. Maybe you punch the rest of your punches and get some snacks on the way out, because you got them left. Why not? And there will be a number of, let's see, blue frosted cupcakes, candied apples on a stick. You better believe Beverly's got one, maybe two. Double fisting it. There is Euphoria cookies, which are saucer-sized cookies dusted with particles of fairy dragon euphoria gas. That was a mouthful. There's evening berry wine, berry bell nectar, sugar glazed button mushrooms, and pre-sap lollipops. And maybe some of you guys like punch what's left of your tickets and get a assortment of snacks as you exit outside of the Witchlight Carnival, sort of had a good time and enjoyed the carnival, and return back into the proper of Ironborn with some butterfly wings on your back.
All right, the goal is to get to the artist district and to get something pretty to wear at there's a shop. There's a shop in the artist district. I want to buy a pretty dress that I can wear when I'm watching the Airy, and also I want to find out if there's an artist that does tattoos. Or later, I'll do that for now.
Got it. If Yvain was to vocalize about pretty dresses, do you think you'd say, hey guys, I'm gonna go find a pretty dress?
I would say, all right, so we are in Lyringorn and we are going to have box seats to watch the most extraordinary event, and I want to wear the garb of the city. So I am going to go to the tailor. I will buy something off the rack really quickly and meet you at the Airy. If you want to come with me, I hope you do. If not, I will meet you at the Airy.
You're not gonna wear armor for this?
Oh, I'll have my armor over it.
Oh, I see.
Yvain takes off. Yeah. Okay. So Yvain's, you go to a tailor shop, mark off 10 gold pieces to grab something off of Earth. Everything here is magic, but magic is so well used that it's not as expensive as normal. I'm going to say...
I'm also going to ask about my hair.
Yeah, how much is fine clothing?
It's been 50 gold elsewhere. And the pieces she's already bought have been 50 gold.
Yeah,
I was planning on spending like 100 gold, getting 2 things off the rack, putting one on, and seeing if they can do something about my hair.
I'm going to say at this very late hour, because everybody's probably everyone literally prepares for this all year round. So what you're grabbing off the rack is probably exactly the like what got left over. I want you to make me an investigation check to find something that you might like to wear, because this is just kind of what's left of what people didn't want to wear.
That's fine. Holy shit, that's actually not bad. It's a 15.
15, that's pretty good.
No. Actually, no, that's different. It's because I've got proficiency in it now. So it's actually let me see, 14 plus 4, which is an 18. It's actually an 18.
An 18. You can look around, you find one tailor that's like pretty good, and they find something that's gonna be good. It's not gonna be blowing any minds. It's not gonna be the prettiest thing in the ball, but it's still very nice. Especially for Lyranborn style, and it does have like warming enchantments inside of it so that the cold doesn't get to your bones while you're wearing something maybe like a little shoulderless or whatever. So You can dress how you want, not have to worry about the Arctic cold. And they'll do your hair for you there as well. And I'll ring it all up to, let's call it 30 gold.
Done.
All right, get a new set of fine clothing, which is like a Lyran Gorn sort of like bee dress, if that makes any sense.
So my hair is long again?
Well, they have enchantments, that's true. Oh, if you want them to regrow your hair, they can do that. Drop another fucking, we'll say 10 gold. It's
Done.
It's the Moonweaver ribbons. So they like do an enchantment on your hair to transmute you, and your hair grows back out nice and long. Give you a little cut, do up your hair, put you in a dress, send you on your way.
Off I go to the area.
I was gonna say that'll take a while. Is there anything anyone else wanted to do in that hour and a half in Lyran before the actual event occurs as the sun is setting on the horizon, or you guys just want to go to the area and get ready for the event?
I'm just going to the area.
Fantastic. Understood. Is there anybody else? Anybody else have anything to do? It's okay if the answer's no.
I might just kind of wander through the crowd a little bit before I head up to the area for the start.
Understood. Okay. Yeah, you go to the area and it's fairly empty. Or actually, no, I take it back. It's the opposite. It's actually rather full, where you see like wyverns sort of crawling along the outside of various nets and stuff. They're all saddled. And you see the sky swimmers who are all in these very like almost like it's a mix between almost like leather armor and like a jumpsuit, like a sort of like a what do surfers wear so they don't get cold in the water? What are those things called?
Wetsuit.
Sweatsuits.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's like a combination between like a wetsuit and like gymnasts like fucking Lulu clothes and like leather armor. It's kind of like a mix of all those things. Very, very specialized gear for the Moonweaver ribbons. They all have spears. They look more like ceremonial than actually like they could be used for combat. They're more for what they're about to do. But they're all very specialized in their equipment. Special boots, special gloves that sort of like go up the first two fingers. These spears are very specially made. Everything that they wear is unique and specially crafted for this very event that you're about to see. And then continue on to the area. Anybody else? Or you all go to the area? Okay. To the area you all go. You are going to see. So yeah, there's an enchant Marcus. Okay, you guys make your way to the area where some people are sort of gathered around, but you guys are going to be shown up there with a couple of fly spells just sort of cast on you by the nearby mages. You will make your way to the top, and there's going to be a number of hunters outside waiting for your arrival. You're going to step out onto the landing dock and prepare for what comes next. You guys will see... Oh, he's actually not. Yeah, sure, he's out here. Nihilus Eldareth is waiting for all of you. He stands outside. He bows to you all in welcome. He says, I hope you enjoyed the festivities here in Lyran. And most of the conclave is already assembled. So if you're ready, I'm sure we'll be excited to meet you. And hopefully we can get on with the ceremony without any trouble, as the day has gone by fairly well so far.
Wonderful.
Indeed.
All right, please follow me. And you'll enter into this, what almost looks like sort of got a glamping vibe to it on this little ridge that hangs out from the side of the Elven Peaks. It definitely has a large balcony on the top. Certain enchantments have been placed so that there's like a nice green grass growing on the top and beautiful ornate banisters. And as you walk inside, it very much has probably got a little bit like a hunting lodge thing, but it's very like a glamorous sort of glamping hunting lodge. It's kind of like I almost imagine it's what Zarvolg might like if he were a king, where it's like, it's got that huntery feel, but it's still got the elegance and the niceness. And you're going to see A number of figures standing around, paladin, a high priest, a great arcanist, their wives and husbands. And as you join into this high society here in Lyrenborn, we will end the session. And next week, we will have our ceremony and enjoy the Moonweaver's riddles.
Weaver's ribbon.
Ooh.